Hello, lovelies. I got momentarily distracted there, just typing things in chat, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, the stream's starting! Whoops, whoops, whoops." So I also then cut it off a little bit early. Didn't finish the final note. Never mind. So,
Whoops. Nobody saw that, right?
So bear with me a second. Let me just turn my loading screen off. Right. Hello, everybody in chat. What do you mean it's a work in progress, Cal? Look, okay, so I reinstated his wall art. His since we referred to it on stream last night. And I had it perfectly aligned, and then he went and interfered with it, and now it's wonky. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Like, I didn't like the art to begin with, but I was like, okay, fine, I concede to having some bare butts wall art. And then he misaligned it. Anyway, aside from that, how's my sound? Can you all hear me okay? Hopefully, yes. Also, hello to everybody who's there. Hello, Tantail. Hello, Calvert. Hello, Bun. Hello, Moomin. Hello, Watcher. Hi, Ruffle. Hi, Memers. And anybody else who is lurking. Yes, you can hear me. Good. Great. Super start. So the stream is not just going to be me sitting here looking at bare butts and making cat's eyes, I promise. This was just a little bit of stream prep that I was catching up on. However, there is a sign up on this one for a reason. So those of you that have been around for the past couple of weeks will probably know that I've been having some issues with my gaming laptop. And for the last couple of streams, I had switched back to my older laptop to stream from more safely without blue screens. However, that one, the fan is dying a death and is getting very noisy, so the lesser of two evils was to risk it for a biscuit on this laptop, which is currently awaiting repair. But it might mean that either when randomly crashes, in which case you'll just get a little oops, but the stream will carry on and I will just log right back in. It might mean that I blue screen and the stream actually falls over, in which case just please hang around in the channel and refresh. It will take like maybe a minute, 2 minutes tops to reboot and get back in and restart the stream, hopefully. Unfortunately, that will mean it technically restarts the second stream, but you know, whatever. But you never know, we might be very lucky. It might hold out on me and not give me any trouble at all. But that's just there in case, so that I don't have to keep announcing that on the stream. You are Madoon! Hello, Madoon, as well. You buck-bocked. In fairness, yes, I was looking for the coloured text. I wasn't also looking for the channel points. What? I heard that. Wonky butts. Calvert, did you just fart on something in my local? You're as bad as Myra. He was... The last time I had him on stream, in the area, he was doing this right at the edge of local, and he was like, oh, can you hear that? Frustration. But anyway, so today's stream, what do you mean, wasn't you? Are you fibbing because you're the only one in local? Wow. Apparently Calvert's still sat on a champagne bottle, so we'll see how that goes. So today I am going to do a little bit of pottering, a little bit of building, maybe a little bit of demolition, depending on how we go. And I want to talk about the pop-up event site, which I have been talking about doing for a while, and I've had sort of like a couple of different deed sites dropped down where I've been like umming and ahhing about, like, is this the right place for it? What would I put there? I've got a big long list of ideas of the kind of things that I would like to put there, but I've been really struggling to actually get started with designing and building it. I'll talk about that a little more when I get over there. Let me just finish my tinking up some of... Oh god, no, there's loads of them. You know what? I can do that on the go whenever I stop, can't I? So let's go for a wander. So we are over on Exodus, on the Southern Freedom Isles. For anybody who doesn't recognise where we are at Full Spring, which is Calvert's Deed, about here-ish. So not far at all from the Exodus start town, which is part of my cunning plan with my pop-up event site, because One of the things I was saying, I think this probably the idea of like pop-up on stream events probably first occurred to me. Like it, oh god, fun. When we did the Puzzle Labyrinth run, because the way that we organised that, in fairness, I did announce it the week before on stream, and I put something on the forum so people got a little bit more notice. But also, when we kicked off the stream, I had a timer running on the stream, and I was like, right, for anybody who's not heard about this before but wants to come along, like you've got 30 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever it was. I think it was an hour. I think we gave an hour, right? If you can get yourself to a portal, then all you got to do is portal across, and I'll meet you at the portal, and we'll go from there, and you can come and join in on the Puzzle Labyrinth run. And that was really quite fun. And I like the idea of, I love in-game events. I love community events. Like things like Impalongs are super. I'm a big fan of them. They also take a massive amount of work and patience and resources and all of those things for people to organise. And I have a lot of gratitude and admiration for the people that do. And I like getting involved with things like that, and I like participating in things like that. And I've always itched over the years to sort of be like, I don't know, to run little things. Like I've wanted to come up with, like, I don't know, scavenger hunts and mazes and all kinds of stuff. But I also have ADHD and not a lot of staying power. And I probably don't have the stamina to try and run something of that scale, which is why I have never tried. I know my limits. But what I absolutely am capable of doing is hyper-focusing on a fun idea for several hours or several days at a time, and then doing like a mini something, just like not like a whole event, certainly not like an Impalong, massive amounts of preparation that goes into those, but you know, just like little, like we do this thing for an hour or two and it's fun, and maybe there's prizes, maybe there's shenanigans, maybe we get more people on stream, I don't know, that kind of stuff. That sounds super fun and much more manageable. And a few months ago, Calvert and I were talking about things like the arena, for example, which is just over there. This is Calvert's arena. It's a beautiful big arena. And it would be really nice to be able to do some things in that arena, except Calvert too probably does not have the stamina or the time to organise a whole kind of in-game community event. But like pop-up events for just like an hour or so, we could totally do that. And he has a maze, which is admittedly now slowly decaying, like beautifully decaying just beyond that. So he's got a built maze over there. Ruffle is currently building or working her way towards building a sort of like a Christmas-themed deed, like a Santa's Grotto kind of thing. We don't yet quite know what it's going to look like. I'll come back to this bit in a second. And after looking at several different sites for hers, is now actually converting her Exodus deed to that. And her Exodus deed is just over the other side of these woods, just over the other side of the canal. So actually, with Calvert's deed here with space to do event things, Ruffle's deed over there with space to do event things, and me looking at 2 or 3 different sites in this region to do like pop-up events. The first one I had was on the pathway just on the other side of these woods, which leads straight to Esert. Early and late, Tanto. So the first one I tried was over there on a diagonal road, which was a nice challenge, but I wasn't really quite... Part of what I liked about the site up here, I totally should have brought a horse, haven't I? But never mind, let's run everywhere on foot carrying a whole load of cat's eyes. What I originally liked about the site that I had up here was I liked the idea of building sort of like a walls deed where you could run around on top of the walls, like city walls. We've got Roman cities dotted around the UK with these lovely kind of like walls ringing the outside that you can wander around, and I liked the idea of lining up catapults along the wall of my event deed, pointing them at the arena, and having some catapulting competitions. But there were a few issues with that. First being, I can't catapult anything at Calvert's buildings because perms. Second being, you can't actually fire catapults from on buildings. You can do it from bridges, you can do it from the ground, can't do it from buildings. Blue. Jake did make me this lovely trebuchet as well, and I had a catapult here which some streams ago, a couple of months ago, Calvert and I were catapulting lit pumpkins just to test it, just to see what we could do into the desert over here. But so the first site that I was looking at was actually kind of across the middle of this diagonal highway, and just over the other side of that little body of water that you can see there is Esert, which is the Exodus start town, which is of course a portal town. So that would have been really nice and easy for people to hop to this portal and then just run for 30 seconds over to an event site. But once I realised that I couldn't catapult stuff at his arena, and once Ruffle started talking about putting her, making her Christmas deed, the one that she has across the canal, then I started getting bigger ideas. Originally, this was meant to be like just a little 1 silver deed kind of thing, you know, with just some facilities. But the reason that Calvert and I became friends a little over a year ago is because I happened to be over on Exodus pottering around looking at this canal side site, which I've admired on and off over the years and keep coming back to and being like, oh, I'd like to build a deed here. And so predictably, having dropped that deed back there and then just so I could load it into Deed Planner, have a look at the site, whatever, I then started having aspirations on this much bigger site between Calvert's place and what is now Ruffle's place, and thinking maybe I could do something there. But the problem that I'm hitting is it is a beautiful big flat piece of land, and it turns out I am not good with a blank slate. Most of my most creative builds come when I've got challenges, like when I've got to work around difficult or weirdly shaped terrain or something like that. This is nice and big and flat and open, and apparently that is anathema to my creativity. So that's part of what's making it difficult for me to get started. Who just killed a cow? Was that Calvert? It's probably one of the scorpions, in fairness. So this is currently, all of this space, and I'm going to show you the rest of it, is currently deeded by me. And the perimeter did go all the way up to the edge of Calvert's perimeter, but at the moment it's actually been pulled back because I'm doing work over the canal as well. But we've had this lovely Winters Victorial pylon here. It was actually just a few tiles over and a little bit further back in the woods just there. But having deeded this site, one of the things I wanted to do was make a fancy entranceway. So we've moved it over, and this bit has sort of been semi-planned for a while, and I've built a building into it, which I think connects pretty nicely. It's a shame that the sun is actually the other side of it at the moment, so you can't see it as well as I would like. But so we've got this sort of part mission structure, part building, grand entranceway to this beautiful big open space, where I'm tempted to put my pop-up event deed. So it is deeded currently. We are in Nefarious deed. That's the name of the stream. And I've got a lot of sort of flexibility here about how far the deed would extend if we needed space around it, if we needed off-deed space around it, things like that. And one of the things that I have been doing is resiting this road, which originally, you can just see the sort of the remnants of the one that I've gotten rid of, originally ran along here and stopped before it actually connected back up to the highway. I assume at some point it was connected to where the mission structure was before. So I have moved it over like 6 tiles. Wolfmeyer, you've got a ballista on top of wall, never tried firing it. I mean, in fairness, now I haven't tried doing it from a building, but it was Jake. Jake who told me that you can't do them from buildings, but you can do them from bridges. And I figure Jake probably knows, because he tells me he's done an awful lot of War Machine shenanigans for funsies over the years. And bridges was his recommendation if I wanted them up high on something, but said I couldn't do it on buildings. But yeah, so originally there was the long path through here ran to about there, and presumably originally connected up to the highway, but it was off centre from the lovely main gates of Thorspring over here, which I really like. This is sort of the first bit of Calvert's deed that I ever saw, and I thought it was impressive then, and I still do. So it's sort of, I don't know, where would it have lined up to? Kind of didn't quite meet the front. I think it came out like part way over here. There we go. It'll have been like there, the road, which annoyed me that it didn't line up beautifully. So because I don't like things being slightly off kilter, I dug up the whole road. I resited the whole, including the mission structure, resited the road, built a nice new 3-tile wide road, and I'm also rebuilding a bridge a few tiles over to make it all line up perfectly, which is, I'm sure, a huge waste of resources from a lot of people's point of view. But now, look at that. Now we can have this lovely continuation from the entranceway to the gates of Thorspring, straight over the road through my fancy new gateway area. And then I'll take you all the way down the other side and show you the canal, which it's hard to explain why I keep being inspired by this canal and wanting to build stuff across it. Particularly if you're not a Brit, it reminds me of certain kind of northern industrial towns in Britain, and for some reason I find that charming, and I want to do something with it. But so we've got this super big space that I could do stuff with. I'm in the midst of doing some renovations which don't require a deed to remain here if I changed my mind, but namely the road, the bridge, resiting the lovely pylon gate. But if I can come up with enough ideas that I like and a place to start planning the deed out from, like the building that I want to start with besides that one, then I will probably go ahead with this site, because I like this site in terms of its position. I like that it's sandwiched between those two deeds. I like that it is still only really a short hop. This is the bridge I'm building to replace this bridge, as you can see, literally just a few tiles over. I like that this is still a really short hop from ESERT. So this canal here stretches just up to there. ESERT is just there. So it is still only like maybe a minute's run from the portal. Super easy to reach, easy to signpost, easy to get on the highway for people who are not familiar with it at all. You were admiring the gate the other day. Thank you. Thank you. You can get up on top of it as well, and I was excited to get up on top of a pylon. I'll show you that in a bit. So Ruffles' deed is literally just over here, which she's slowly turning into her Christmas-themed deed. And currently my deed, the Nefarious deed, extends over here so that I can do bridge work. And if I do some demolitions today, it's going to be this bridge going down and resiting the highway, but we'll see how we get on. So it would be a lovely thoroughfare between our three sites, which would make it super easy to run events that touch on one or more of our deeds. When I talk about pop-up events, I don't mean like a pop-up site. I suppose what I mean is a deed which is equipped with a variety of different kinds of buildings and setups to run different kinds of things in, so that it's versatile. I see you, Calvert. Oh God, I've been snuck up on. They're closing it on me. Hello. Hello, Ruffle. I'm half expecting him to just drive straight off the slope where the bridge is not finished. But that's sort of that's the plan. I would like this to be the site. I need something to get me going with this big blank slate of landscape, because I didn't realise quite how much I rely on having to work from a tricky point outwards in my deed planning endeavours, to really know where to start. But yeah, so I tell you what, I've got a series of polls which I'm going to run across the course of the stream, just for anybody who's around. They're really just kind of like fun straw poll. What do you think of this? Which of these sounds fun kind of ones? I've never run polls on Twitch before, so I was playing with this earlier, and I really hope it's going to work seamlessly first time. I was very disappointed to find that Twitch would not let me create polls in advance and save them. But let's have a go. Start with a sort of a test one-ish. And it's okay if this is not for you, like if the kind of hop over for events and stuff is not really your jam, but you think it'd be fun to see on stream, that's fine too. That's fine too. It's really just partly for me to test how polls work, and also to get a little bit of feedback on some ideas. But also, I would really welcome any ideas from you guys about things that you think would be fun to do, fun to watch, fun to fun to watch others fall on their faces attempting to do. Okay, let's just test this and see if it works. Fingers crossed. Oh, okay. You should now have a poll that's appeared at the top of chat. If you don't want to vote at all, you can dismiss it. And it should also be showing on stream for you guys. It's the first time I've tested this widget though, so, you know, it may not work. We'll see. Where's Calvert ended up? Oh, he's still over there. So I think it's sort of, I've not looked at one of these from the Twitch side before. I guess it's probably like pinned to the top of your chat, something like that. But yeah, it should be open for like 5 minutes. It's got a little ticky down till it till it is no longer open, I guess. Tell you what, though, it's weird. It's weird in the way that it looks on the overlay, right? In that, like, is it also showing you the options in the overlay, or is it only going to show us at the end when people have voted? We shall find out. We shall find out, I guess. Yeah, it's pinned to the top of the chat, and also because it's now part of my overlay at the top of my screen, I think it will show us the results when it closes. But I didn't know whether it was going to be showing us, I don't know, things as they voted, like as votes came in or something, which it doesn't seem to, but that's okay. So maybe it'll just pop something up at the end. But I suppose for things like this, like for bigger things, I would try and announce them a week in advance, the stream beforehand, and maybe pop something up on the forums, and also allow an amount of time at the start of a stream for anybody just coming and checking, and then to come and line up and do things. God, look at the size of our array. Ella Calvert, you can have a kiss too. And also, wait. Also one of those. Didn't get my delicious slap sound though. Yeah, so it's something I would try and give advance notice where possible, but the minimum would be like at the start of a stream being like, right, we're going to do a surprise thing in 30 minutes or an hour for anybody who wants to join. It would probably be an hour minimum because it takes a while to get to a portal. But the kind of things that I'm talking about, like they could be anything from like food fights, sparring matches, catapulting, destruction kind of derby stuff, races. Could do, like, I like the idea of things like scavenger hunt and geocaching. I'm not sure that they would work very well on stream. 1 hour's a bit short for you, Worm Watcher, 1 day notice. Yeah, so like I say, I think what I would try and do is whenever possible, give like notice the week before and then put something on the forums, but then also delay the start, so have them like kick off an hour into stream so that there's time for anybody who wants to like do a last minute, oh crap, I forgot about that, kind of hop to a portal to come and join. So I guess streams like that, we do a bit of preamble and then we'd have the competition partway through like we did with the Labyrinth run. But it might be things like skilling competitions. Some of these would work better on stream than others. Like we have fun with things like fishing competitions and stuff at Impelongs. I don't know how well those would work on stream. Like relay races and horse races and ridiculous things like that would work quite fun. I quite like the idea of doing like a dog show or something of that equivalent that gets people taming and attempting to like get animals through an obstacle course. I don't actually know how well that would work in Worm, but I really, really do like, yeah, Mima's just, it should be pinned to the top of chat. But I think if you can see the pin and you can't click on it for whatever reason, you can also /vote and then just pick the number of the option you want to vote for. I think. I won't hold you to it if you mess it up first time, though. That's fine. God, is he building my bridge already? Yes, he is. I'll go and catch up with him. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Yeah, like it could be some sort of skilling competitions and things. We could have snowball fights. I really do want to build some obstacle courses. I've got some exciting ideas for like gauntlets and obstacle courses. You're getting those whether you like them or not, and I'm going to find some of you to run them. But it might also include, I don't know, like skill-based competitions. It could include some of the games, like the ones, like the things that are real-life games that we tried to translate into Worm in some fashion. And we often trial those at things like Impelongs. So, you know, we've seen people run things like Deal or No Deal, Jeopardy. We ran Hangman at the last DRF. I think somebody was running Connect 4 on one of theirs, which sounded really cool. So there's those kinds of things as well. I know Bum was telling me that he's also tried to figure out how to do battleships, if battleships is doable before. Didn't seem doable with War Machines, but there might be other ways to simulate it. So it could be things like that. There's all sorts. There's loads of things that I'm sure we could think of to do on stream that would not take very long. And we could do prizes for some of them. Some of them maybe we would just do for fun, for shits and giggles. But I like the idea of it. And last week's stream, when Ruffle and I were out exploring, the very, very lovely evening, came and gave us a bunch of items, PMK items, to do giveaways of or prizes and things on stream. So that sort of gave me a bit of a kick up the backside as well, because I had been kind of sitting on this idea and talking about it for a while, but not really doing anything with it. And she sort of kicked off my prize pool. I've got a whole bunch of things that I thought I could throw in there as well. So it would be nice to do kind of like mini things for prizes. Oh, damn. So did the poll finish? And then did you see the results on the overlay while I was waffling? Did it display them for a little while first? Chess or checkers? Yeah, we need more games like backgammon. See, chess and checkers, again, we do chess and checkers competitions and things that was exciting. At things like Impalongs. I don't know if we could make those interesting to watch on stream as well, but in fairness, I've never actually watched how those games work, like as in watched them on a toon. So I think there are some which are fun to play at bigger community events, but may not necessarily translate so well to stream. But, you know, there's testing and stuff. We talked about, for example, doing tobogganing down mountains in boats. That's something that we could totally do on stream. Maybe not down Dragonfang. Well, maybe down Dragonfang. Those ones we might die a horrible death, but for the most part, I'm talking about the kind of games where you don't die. Hopefully you just have a little bit of fun. Cool. So you did see the results for a bit. Good. I didn't, however, because I was waffling. So let me go and have a look. Let me go and have a look and see what the results were. Because I just waffled all the way through it, which is, frankly, so me. Ah, good. Okay, so some of you would come, some of you would watch. For fun and glory. I like how nobody said yes, but only for prizes. It's very good of you all. Like I say, we try and get some prizes in there for some stuff, but also some like silly little things feel like, I don't know, maybe we could have like dummy prizes for some of them, but sort of some things feel like, you know, big and prize-worthy, and some of them might just be fun. Like, I really, really want a way for us to do food fights in Worm, and I was so excited by the idea of getting to throw tomatoes at people like snowballs. But there are challenges to overcome, you know, but they're not impossible. I'm all about trying new things for science. Okay, cool. So now we know how polls work. That's a nice start. I suppose instead of just standing around, I should actually help before he finishes the rest of the bridge without me. Let me just. Here we go. Muck in. Except I'm still carrying a billion cat's eyes. So those go in there. Ta-da! Yeah. Let's be helpful. So yeah. So that's my plan. You expect humongous draconian eggs. Can't promise those. Might be tempted to throw one of my humongous eggs into the prize pool for something. But if I had a humongous draconian egg, none of you would be getting your mitts on it. That would be mine, forever and ever. So Madoon, you were saying you played the Connect 4. How did I know how the layout worked, like how the board worked.
Cha-ching!
How does it actually work as like a thing to play in game? Like, is it fun? I mean, likewise, you could do stuff like noughts and crosses, but I guess a little bit like Connect 4. Those tend to be quite fast games, which is maybe a good thing for stream. Wait, what am I doing? So trowel. Let's concentrate and stop waffling just long enough to actually do something useful, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Lacked the gravity-based element. Yeah. Yes. But it worked well otherwise, you guess. You see, things like Hangman were fun, but again, like we were like 15 to 20 minutes per round. I think the fastest we did it was probably 15 for stuff like that. I can't remember how long it took to do games like Jeopardy or Deal or No Deal, because I have played both of those before when other people ran them. I've played Jeopardy at the Lunalong, and I can't remember which Impalong I would have played Deal or No Deal with. That might have been a Lunalong as well when Fab was running things like that. But I know that for a lot of those, the rounds tend to run a little bit longer. Gravity sucks. Well, speaking of gravity, Another thing that I keep getting excited about, and I'm absolutely not allowed to do until I've decided what I'm doing with this and started doing something with it, is making use of a lot of vertical space inside a mine, say a hollowed out bit of mountain, to make some Tomb Raider style levels with jumps in, because okay, technically you can't jump in Worm, but you can control your trajectory, and I so reckon it could be done if you had enough height to make a kind of obstacle course. And of course in a mine you wouldn't die, you'd just get frustrated if you missed your jump. But I think it's doable. Worm Trivial Pursuit, that could work. What was the other one I was thinking of earlier? There was something else. Oh, I was wondering if you could creatively simulate something like Mousetrap in Worm. I mean, obviously you don't get like the forward motion of something that you push, but I suppose it would kind of come down to that obstacle course process again. Like, can you in a space where you can actually interact with the stuff, line stuff up sufficiently to get your thing through before anybody else does in theirs? It might be a bit overcomplicated to do in Worm, but I'm open to all kinds of things. Snowboard inside the mountain. You could. I mean, in fairness, we could test a load of the tobogganing mechanics safely inside a mine where there's no falling damage. But that doesn't feel quite as fun as just testing it down a mountainside somewhere. So we'll see. And like, we've got a really good, here's me not helping again as well. We've got a really good tradition of things like horse races, boat races, cow races, that kind of stuff in Worm. I always really want to add in extra stuff. Thank you for the follow, Doug James. I always really want to add in extra stuff to those. Like, so I like the idea of relay races and take a little bit more coordination, but I like the kinds of ones where you've got to like pick stuff up at checkpoints along the way, for example, or where there's sort of challenges throughout. Or if you think about things like Mario Kart, like maybe stuff where there are bonus things that you can pick up on the way for extra points, but obviously actually stopping by to get the things on the way might slow you down and lose you the edge. And I don't know. I just think there might be some interesting ways to do stuff like that. And speaking of boat races, one of the nice things about these sets of deeds as well is not only do we have this canal here, but actually there's a whole series of connected canals all around this area around Esert. So it would be super easy from a site like this to run interesting, I think, like boat races, canoe races, horse races. We've got all kinds of options in the terrain around here. And once you add in like the 3 deeds that we've got between us as well, I think there's lots of scope to do those kinds of things here. You think a relay race would be fun, memers? The game Go, using Easter eggs as pieces. I mean, Easter eggs would be good pieces, actually, for a lot of things like that, because they don't turn into piles. But yeah, you like the idea of sailing races, Wolfmeyer? Yeah. See, I think there's lots of options there. There's lots of scope. Nobody wants piles. Thank you for that, Ruffle. No, nobody does, and I haven't got... What am I missing? Bricks. Wait. Oh, no, the bridge finished without me. I got so distracted. Maybe I'll just let Calvin finish. Maybe I'll just stop interfering and let him finish my bridge. But yeah, so things like obstacle courses, like I think there are some really interesting things that you could do with obstacle courses. Like, and one of the things that I could do with a nice long open space like this for a deed is set up obstacle courses along the edge of a deed, and then effectively to run them, just resize the deed a few tiles in the opposite direction, effectively then making the obstacle course offline so that people can actually interact with stuff in it. So then it becomes not just about making your way through an obstacle course, but potentially also being able to pick up items, to craft things, to tame things along the way, to fight things along the way. And then you can add in much more interesting kind of obstacles and challenges, kind of like almost like sort of, I don't know, somewhere between Gauntlet and Tough Mudder, which is why I'm excited about the possibilities of things like obstacle courses. You've got skill-based things like archery competitions and catapulting stuff. Like that is super fun to watch on stream, particularly catapulting. I mean, Flying Cow was great fun to be watching on stream, like with things flying over my head when I was front lines doing that. I would be reluctant to take any games which are specific to like a particular community event, and run those over here. Although if the people who run those games at those events wanted to come and do it on stream, I would totally be up for that. Like we could do some kind of collaboration thing like that. But I don't know. I just think it's fun. I really like I like community events, and we get plenty of them at Impelongs. But like just like an hour or so, come and do something fun, all assemble in a place. I reckon that would be doable. Hello, Dirk. Nice to see you. And the best thing about that, the best thing about it now that the portals connect us all up is it means that people on NFI and SFI could come and compete and play for glory. It gets a little bit trickier then if we're playing for prizes, because there are not many things that I can translate to prizes that people can take back with them to Northern Freedom Isles, except for sleep bonus. That's about the one thing I can do that people could take back with them. I know a lot of the NFI players we have here, though, also have SFI tunes, so maybe that wouldn't be so bad, but that's one of the things I'm kind of working my head around. Like, I like the idea of there being prizes for stuff, but I don't want a whole cluster to feel just left out of the fun. So if anybody's got any really good ideas for that, shout my way. Like I say, sleep powder's easy enough to do, but pretty much everything else is kind of like object based, like say fun PMK stuff, or a humongous egg, or shiny vehicles, shiny animals, that kind of stuff. So still chewing over that one, but we'll see. You've not finished my bridge yet, Calvert. He's getting there. He's getting there. Okay, so hang on. We talked a little bit about races. I'm going to pop up another poll, and you can tell me which of these kinds of races you think sound the most fun for you. And this isn't like, I'm not going to hold you to it or anything. It's just a bit of a straw poll, so it gives me a place to start when I'm thinking about which games do I want to focus on creating spaces for first, because there's a whole load more games that I might want to run that I will fit in sort of around those. But I think part of what would help me to plan this deed is if I'm like, right, we definitely want an obstacle course, a bare knuckle boxing ring, or a sparring space, and we want some ranges to do things like, I don't know, archery competitions and stuff like that, whatever. It would just give me some places to start. So let's just try another good solution for NFI feeling left out. Tactical. No, Madoon. Go and sit in the naughty corner. No bickets for you. Right. So another poll. Let's start with. I tell you what. Let's start with broad categories of games. And I'm going to add in an option so you can use a few channel points if you've got them to vote for extra things, because I think the way these are set up, you generally only get one vote, but I can do it so that you can get extra votes if you like lots of things. If you only get one vote, if you're not sitting on any channel points, just vote for the one that you like the sound of best. So what kind of stuff have we talked about? We've talked about friendly PvP style matches, and by that I mean things like sparring or sparring equivalents, like we do fish slapping over at the Friend Along, for example. Calvin and I tried beating each other with sharks very ineffectually. At some point we are going to try shooting one another with bows and arrows, because we're both crap at archery. We'll see how badly that goes. Like food fights, like snowball fights, that kind of stuff. So that's sort of what I mean by friendly PvP matches. We've talked a bit about races. We've talked a little bit about skill-based competitions, like for example, where we've done, I don't know that all of these would work for stream, but broadly speaking, things like fishing competitions, like archery. Like we've had pottery offs. We could do some kind of I don't know, we could do cooking competitions, we could do catapulting, I guess is skill-based. I like the idea of some taming-based ones, particularly for people who don't have a whole lot of taming. And we know that even when you do have good taming, animals are still often quite unresponsive to commands. I don't know, I reckon there's some fun stuff to be had there. So, skill competition type stuff. We talked about real-life games translated to Worm in some way. So I'm going to put that as a category. Is there anything else that we've talked about that I've missed in kind of broad categories of fun things to do? Let's have a look-see. Sheep shearing. Using RNG to see who makes the lowest or highest quality item. How? Using RNG how? In what way? Like, and I'm not at all averse to games that have a heavy RNG element, because even though it's often the bane of our life in Worm, what I kind of want is games where if somebody is super, super skilled in that thing, that doesn't just mean that it's no fun for anybody else. So I am definitely for sort of how fast someone can get a certain item. Yeah, so we ran games like Go Fetch, for example, at the DRF, where you're getting it's sort of like a mini scavenger hunt, but within a controlled space and with a time limit. So maybe we could make things, maybe not geocaching on stream, but maybe we could make scavenger hunt like things in games like Go Fetch work for a stream. Kind of in the same way that we did an Impelong along that theme, like first person to make this thing or to find this thing or to bring me one of these things. Yeah, that could work. Lowest QL items easy, just get a new toon. Yeah, but I kind of don't want people to have to make alts just to come and play. It would be nice if they could come and play on their mains or their SFI main. Yeah, it's how you add the RNG element in, I reckon. Dirk. Better be hobnobs. Oh, no bickets. No bickets for Madoon. You can have hobnobs, Calver. You're doing a very good job finishing my bridge for me while I waffle. Right. What's it doing? So, has that covered everything in the poll? Party games, skill competitions, races, friendly PvP, matches of varying descriptions. Let's have kind of maybe scavenger style games like Go Fetch, like treasure hunt equivalents, that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's allow additional votes. I don't even know how many channel points you lot are sitting on. Lots? Hundreds? Thousands? What should we make? Tell you what, let's make it a 50 point. 50.1, does that seem reasonable? Does that seem outrageous for extra votes? You liking this, are you, Dirk? Good. You think someone should hold actual chess and checkers championships?
Cha-ching!
Well,
Take
I
my
think
money.
they did start trying to do something like that. Part of the problem is that Worming game, at least for chess, I don't know about checkers, but there are illegal moves that you can make in the game, and I think there are maybe some things that you should be able to do that you can't, like castle. But I thought that somebody was talking quite recently about trying to run kind of like competitions, run it as like a championship league. I don't know whether they ever got it off the ground, though. Right, let me just kick off that poll before I waffle for another 10 minutes and completely forget to do it. So, there we go. Let's leave that running for 5 minutes. Let's do it for 5 minutes. So, there we go. Another poll for broad categories of types of games that sound fun to you. You should get a free vote. If you want extra votes, you can throw a few channel points at it to vote for other ones that you also like the sound of. If you are very poor and you do not have channel points, thank you for the follow, Limited. If you're very poor and you don't have channel points, but you just want to be like, I like all of them, you can just tell me that in chat. That's fine. I'm not going to hold anybody to it. He's so close. He's so nearly done. Look. How close. Ooh, getting there. What a good egg. I think he just wants his wagon back, which I've had on loan for several days. But yes, so there should now be another poll at the top. And this time I will try and remember to look for the results before they vanish again from my UI. Said, tell you what, Wellies, can I get there and back before he finishes the bridge? Let's find out. What do you mean rude? I applauded you and everything. All done. That was like 10 minutes ago. Goodness knows what I was being rude about. Maybe it was me threatening to just leave Calvert building while I waffled. But yes, this building that I built a pylon built around a pylon so that I could get up on top of a pylon. I'm just going to go and show you upstairs. Naked fish slaps, always very popular. Yeah, I like fish slaps. I like kind of sparring with unusual or ridiculous items. Sometimes it works better than others. And again, I guess somebody who's got unarmed fighting, it's probably going to be unarmed fighting, isn't it? Gets a bit of an edge in that, but also it's quite easy to think about how you would introduce RNG elements to that to even the playing field a little bit. So sneaky beaky. Now I've been on top of a pylon. Isn't that fun? And look at the placement of this. I mean, come on, give me some points here for ingenuity. Like, I get all kinds of exciting views up here from the top end of my nice new pylon gate. And
Da 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 da. Victory.
And oh, he's gonna come for me now. And also, look at that placement, right? Like, I got it so beautifully lined up. I'm so chuffed with myself. Now I want to build more mission structures into the fabric of buildings instead of just putting them inside or outside. I'm going to go back and find that Calvert's already finished the bridge and he's like, it's done ages ago, what are you doing? Poll's still going, haven't missed it yet. Excellent. Bye, Scorp. There is unfortunately a scorpion stone right in my perimeter that's been there for a while, so this thing is just constantly spewing scorpions at me. But maybe I could use them as an obstacle in one of my obstacle courses. But yes. Look. So good. So good. One of the things I thought I might do today, if I don't waffle too much, I'm going to build some marble brazier pillars and tuck them into these alcoves, because I think they might fit quite nicely there. Might build one, find it doesn't fit at all, and then have to find a new home for it, but never mind. But yeah, I was pretty chuffed with that. So fancy. Right, back we go to the bridge, which I think, is it is he finished? Is it? No, still being built. You're slacking, Calvert. Throw chestnuts. Throw chestnuts. Sparring with cheese, yes. Well, that's what I meant about, like, food fights. I got all excited when Moomin said they managed to throw a walnut or something at Mimas, because I really would like to be able to have food fights. And also I quite like the idea of having, like, a sparring ring and then having kind of, like, bleachers. Bleachers where people can sort of, like, lob things into the ring. I don't know. But I think, unfortunately, at the moment, I think the way that the mechanics work, we could only do food fights as a kind of 1v1 type sparring thing. You could treat them essentially as thrown items. I will not go clean up that mess. Also, that's on my deed, so screw you! It is terribly inefficient to pick up as you go. You just want to go through at the end and, like, just haul everything. Hey, you did it! Thank you. You're very good to me. Whee! So now that we have built this totally necessary bridge next to an existing long-standing bridge, I just need to reroute that highway, or temporarily break it, so I can start some demolitions on the bridge next to me. Unfortunately, so these bridges are actually one of the things that I really, really liked about this canal. For anybody who's never been here, I'm actually going to go and just show you. Oh, there we go, there's our results. Oh, races and scavenger hunts. That's pretty decisive. What? Now, I didn't know that letting you use channel points would let you keep voting for the same thing, Moomin. My goodness. $500 channel points. Clearly, I should have made it more expensive. But let me just go and let me dip. Okay, we did get some votes for the others as well. So it was just those two won. Real life party game skill competitions, pretty outrageous. Okay, all right, good. That's a good start. So yes, the first time I saw this canal, the reason I liked it and kept being inspired by it, like I sailed through here a few times, and I think it was when I started collecting animals, and I was in the early years scouring other servers for Christmas GM spawns for the wildlife park. And I like this canal. I like the sort of like the series of bridges through this canal, and I liked the kind of high-low sort of canal side walkways and things across it, like they go back up and down and things. So you've got kind of almost waterside level spaces where you could build, and then upper level spaces as well. I really like that about it. And this was a much gentler slope that I have just broken, because when I take down this previous bridge, what I'm then going to do is I'm going to lower this little bit of land here so that I can make more gentle undulating slopes running canal side going under the new bridge, and back down the other side. It needs a market. What do you mean it needs a market? There is no horn here. Let me go back to the right one though. 4 nymphs in one garden, is that too many? Asking for a friend. I'm amazed that Calvert didn't hop in and vote there, Robbie. Rotten tomatoes for throwing. I wouldn't be that mean. I think nice, fresh, juicy tomatoes would do just fine. So what needs a market? What does? Can I sail up to their faces? Yeah, there are 2 big markets very near here, actually. One of them's going to be on the cooldown for today. So, as I said, Issa, the start town, is literally just over there. And going out west from Issa, you've got Rock Lobster's Exodus Market, and you've got Jake Rivers's Sanford and Sons Market right next to one another. So the 2 markets on Exodus are both really, really very close, like right next door to the start town. So wouldn't need to go compete with that. Plus, I'm only just about managing to run 1 market back on my home server. I'm certainly not capable of running several markets on several servers. That's a bit beyond me. You came back to the pretty canal. Yeah, I was just talking about why I sort of like several times over the years when I've sailed through this canal on the route up to Esert, like I really like the canal way through here, and I like the shape of the terrain around it, and I've always wanted to build something here, which is why I ended up being like, maybe I should just do it right here. But a lot of these bridges have been around a long old time. This one is actually still in perfect nick because it has a highway running across it. But sadly, these ones over here, these sort of decorative bridges, these are starting to fall down, because originally I imagined they were on a deed for quite a long time. I don't know if these were part of, Calvert, you might know, were these part of the sort of demo time? Were these part of like the Ankmore Pork deed? Were they before then? Like, because I've only been coming to Exodus on and off for, I don't know, a few years. Obviously, Calvert has been here much, much longer. But so you've got this series of decorative bridges over here as well, which is super cool, that make this sort of tunnel, like indoor-outdoor tunnel, stretching all the way up that way. And they're just awesome, and you've got a lot more of them here. So we've got these kind of like half tunnels, but as you can see from the discoloration there, because these haven't been on deed for a while, because they don't have highways going over them, because they are decorative effectively, they're starting to fall down, some of them, and that makes me sad. And I might go patch some of them up, because they're a big part of the kind of the feature, if you like, of this canal, which I like so much. But despite liking and respecting them a great deal, I am about to go and knock down one of them to reroute a road. But so long ago. Are we back? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Da
Good.
da 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 da. Victory!
Now, excitingly, of all the crashes, that was not the one that I was expecting. I was expecting either to blue screen or for Worm to crash, but that was actually an OBS crash, excitingly. So I don't know if this is a continuation of the same stream or if it's going to cut it in 2. That's a problem for a later Crim. But let me just... I'm missing...
Whoops.
something
Nobody saw that,
important.
right?
But that's why I've got my stream notice up, because anything could crash at any time until this goddamn rig gets fixed. There we go. That's what I wanted. So let's just pop that back up, and then we can resume. Goodness knows what I was in the middle of saying either. Who knows? Who knows? But I didn't lose the internet at least, so that's something. Yeah, I think the disconnection protection saved me, and that's what I mean. Like, even if OBS crashes, if I can get back in fast enough, the stream continues. I don't think I can get back in fast enough from a blue screen, no matter how hard I try. So that's the only one that is definitely going to split the stream. But we might be lucky. Bridges, yes. I was waffling about bridges, how much I love all of these bridges as decorative features, but how I'm going to blow that one up anyway. So I tell you what, I do want to do some demolition, but I'm just going to do a little bit of notice first, in case anybody's got things like wagoners out, because it is good practice to do so. Right, let's just pop that in freedom and give people a little bit of a chance to see that. But what I can do to speed this up, one of the reasons that I was making cat's eyes is because I can start doing some of the rerouting now, so that when we break it, we don't have too many to place to set it back up. So question is, which of my many crates did I put the cat's eyes in? And am I going to get scuppered by only having one waystone left? Because I've already done a few reroutes or additions. We've finally connected Thulspring up after however many years to the highway. It has been like 3 tiles off the highway for all this time. Where's he off to? Where did I put my cat's eyes? Where'd they go? Ooh. I swear I had cat's eyes here. Am I imagining it? There they are! Excellent. Ooh, I didn't finish imping them, but thankfully, BSBing them, bulking them, has brought all of them up to above 10, so excellent. Can save those bridges by putting cat's eyes and waystones on either end. Oh, that's interesting. So, what, so you mean just essentially making like waystone to waystone connected by cat's eyes that don't connect to anything else, like kind of independent highways, just covering the bridges? That's an interesting idea. Okay, cool. So actually, and because all those bridges are next to one another, we could just do like a little zigzag, like a highway for the bridges on this canal and a highway for the bridges on the other. That would make it more worthwhile going and actually doing the repairs on them first, then. That's nice to know. Good idea, thank you. Mimas, why is first person view everything is eye level, but in third person everything seems proportionate to the character? What? Wait, what do you mean? Hang on. Let me just, let's have some of those. So what do you mean? Like, so in third person, what you mean? Because in third person, sort of like your perspective changes, because you can still do it at eye level in third person. It's just, it tends to be easier if you tilt it. But yes, what was I talking about doing? Right, starting to reroute the highway before I break the existing one. What? I'm confused. Yes, Calvert? Who are we waving at? Who are we waving at? What you found? What you found? Where? I'm so confused. Where is she? Because the last time I was like, God, I can't find Ruffle anywhere. She was stood right behind me. Oh, well. You find slopes make it weird. Oh, I see. Yeah, yes. The kind of the perspective can get a little bit wonky sometimes. Fair. She might be invisible. But also, Hadid is literally just over there. There she is. There she is. actual Ruffle this time, not one of Ruffle's priests. Maybe yellow optioned into a crate. I see. Yellow potioned into a crate. Gotcha. Right, so the highway that I'm going to break, this bit here is already broken. This doesn't lead to anything. But at the moment, what happens is the highway here connects, and it goes in a really kind of roundabout way. It goes across this bridge, it goes down that slope, and then it goes into the canal, because this canal is shallow enough to walk and ride. Obviously not good for deep draft boats, fine for shallow draft boats. So the highway then wraps down there and goes underneath that tunnel of bridges that goes in this direction that I went and showed you a minute ago. So I suppose what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this whole bit that connects down here, and actually, instead of the connecting point being here with a crossroads, then we're going to be adding a new one from this point out. So I am going to need at least one waystone here, run it across the bridge, wrap it round the corner, and although I am going to have to break it again to dig this down, what I need to be careful of is we're not going to be able to do demo work on this bridge if it's getting highway protection from anywhere nearby. So I should be safe to run cat's eyes along here, right? Wrap it round. I would need to just temporarily pave this bit, I suppose. But I don't want to do it too close to the bridge that I'm about to blow up, because I don't want protections to go to it. So currently the waystone I would be connecting it to is here. I think that's going to prevent me doing demolition on this section of the bridge, that waystone right there. That cat's eye certainly would, but these are the cat's eyes that are coming out, and I suspect I probably can't just leave it at the waystone. Can we swap cat's eyes for waystones, or can we only swap waystones for cat's eyes? Looks like it's only that way around that we can do it. Okay, well, if we break it, even if it doesn't let me demo this, like demolition this end piece now, it should let us start blowing up the rest of the bridge, hopefully. Somebody tell me if I've messed up this plan. But what's Calvert cackling at now? Where have I lost him? But I'm going to need to pave this temporarily first anyway. So let's just pack this so that we can do that. If there's only two connections, they can be swapped. If there are only two connections, they can be swapped. What do you mean? Well, that's what I want to do. I want to relocate the waystone, but I don't know how to, because if I right-click a cat's eye, I know that you can activate a waystone and swap it out for a cat's eye, but I don't seem to be able to do it the other way round, right? Because even though this is actually not a connection that needs to happen, like the highway could just carry straight on around the corner because it's not connecting to anything here, right? It doesn't seem to be letting me replace. Yeah, I mean, I could do that, Mimas. The problem is I've only got one waystone here, and I definitely need one at the other end to connect. So I could go and make more waystones. That means I've got to go and dig up some more compasses. What I was trying to do was get to do demolitions with only having to use one waystone, as that's what I've got with me right now. But in any case, let me start paving this while I work out the rest. If there's only two connections, they can be swapped. Yeah. Have to use a crowbar on the waystone to remove it. Yeah, well, that's what I was getting at, Mimas. But when you remove it, you don't get it back into your inventory, right? It falls apart with the crash in the same way that prying up cat's eyes does. So I think you can only replace in one direction, not in the reverse. I don't think I can get that waystone back off it, basically, is what I'm getting at. What was I doing? Packing stuff. Pack. And it's going to have to be 2 by 2, isn't it, for it to be valid? So pack that one. Let's pack that one. Pack that one. And chop down one of the many oleander bushes in this field. I've lopped down so many of them already. Is he? You still about, Calvert? I just saw text, but I don't know actually where you are. Is he in stealth mode? Oh my god! You sod. Oh no, where's Calvert? Where did he go? Oh! I did kill your bush. Yes. Chopped it right down. Soz! And here I thought you were going to help me pave. Now I'm going to kill your grass too. Just wow. Just wow. I know, literally right under my nose. Hello, Wendell. So we're talking about what? Wow, that's weird. What? Calvert, did you just manage to break the terrain? I've never seen that glitch before. What the hell? Yeah, Wendell, so I'm talking about, and for anybody else who's joined since or is a bit confused, I'm talking about making a kind of a mini event site on Exodus. So not to run big, like, multi-day community events like Impelongs, because I don't have the stamina for that. But we quite like the idea of being able to do sort of just quite ad hoc pop-up on-stream community events that run for like an hour or something. Like, everybody come and meet us at this portal in an hour, and we're going to do, I don't know, some horse racing or something, or we're going to do some sparring matches, or we're going to go and do a scavenger hunt, that kind of fun stuff. So I'm currently just down from Esert over there, between Fullspring, where I live with Calvert when I live on Exodus, and Petrichor, which is Ruffles Deed over here. And this here is currently the site that we're looking at, maybe building an event site. And if and when I get it planned and get around to it, I'm also totally up to having a building party. So if you guys want to come and actually help build some of the event site with me on stream, you would be absolutely welcome. Now, let's do this in sandstone, because at least then if I have to take some of it up, it's going to be more or less right. I feel like I did have sandstone around here somewhere. Is it in the wagon? Is it? There we go. So let's just pave that. Start rerouting the highway. Whoa, what? Calvert said, oh, Calvert! Gross! Gross! I don't have anything to do with him. I don't know who he is. He just showed up here. You like the idea, do you, Wendell? We've read a couple of polls for like the kind of things people might be willing to come and play, and we've talked about sort of the kinds of events that we might run here, but I've got more polls that I can run. So, what was the last one we did? Was that general categories? It was, wasn't it? So we talked about races, scavenger hunts / treasure hunts, skill competitions, real life party games translated into Worm, and friendly PvP style matches. So races and scavenger hunts were the most popular, although they were skewed somewhat, as we know. But let's have a look at races. It's a breakdown. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pop another poll up with kinds of races that maybe we could run, and because now I'm so excited by polls. We'll see if there's like particular ones that you guys like more than others. So let me just set that one up, and then I'm going to go putting my bits of highway down. So favorite types of races. Let's have like obstacle course type things. Let's have relay races. We've got horse / mount races. We've got boat / canoe races. And I guess things like maze runs, speed runs, that kind of thing, maybe. That'll do us for now anyway. Right, start poll. There you go, you got another poll up. My in-game chat. Oh, check out now. I'm a whapper. You're still a flower pot. No. Also, you're going to help me pave or not? Do you know what? I'm even looking down. Like, I can't even look you in the eye, Calvert. Here's me looking down the ground, like talking to a naughty child, being like, are you going to help me pave or what? Now, I was carrying so many cat's eyes. Did I actually pick up any sandstone bricks? I did not. Let's just do that while the poll's running. Calvert's here to be helpful. You know, I offered to be helpful if he decided at some point that he wanted to kick back off his scout streams. I was like, I could just lurk nearby and be helpful. And I meant genuinely helpful. But now I'm thinking maybe I should be the other kind of helpful, if that ever comes to pass. He's on the move! Wait. How have I lost him already? Did you just go and hide underneath my... Did he shoot under the crates? Did anybody see? You see a flower pot scurrying off somewhere? No, that's a unicorn. You got me to say what? Whip whap whapper? No. I mean, yes, you did. You totally did, but twice. But as you can see, this is the catapult that we were using to launch pumpkins, lit pumpkins, some streams ago, and I have dragged it painstakingly all the way over here to attempt to use it for bridge demolition, because it's been a while since I've tried taking down a bridge with war machines. Usually I just go really, really slowly using my maul if I have to do that. But they did change the bridge demolition mechanics a little while ago, because when I was re-siting a bridge near Calvert's a few months back, I benefited from them. They had literally just come in, where now if you destroy the end pieces of a bridge, it increases, I think, you get knock-on damage to other bits, and it increases the speed at which you can take down the other bits. So that's quite good. Right, that's... Oh, and he's back. I'm sorry for slapping you. There you go. So we're going to reroute as much of this as we can before I then break the highway. Nobody's responded in Freedom, so I assume nobody gives a crap. Let's pop some cat's eyes down. And, oh, no, need my waystone first. How's that pole doing? Couple of minutes left still? Good. Just seeing if he's got anything interesting in here since last time. No, still full of stuff. Right, there's my waystone. And my large brazier bowls. I was like, I don't know if I've got enough stuff to do on stream tonight. I just want to finish the bridge, maybe do a bit of demolition, maybe build some brazier pillars. I'm not even going to get half of it done. Just waffled too much. Oh well. I'm enjoying my poles instead. I'm a little Don't read Alliance chat. Don't do it, just... It's going to be off-centre, whatever I do. Ah, crap, you know what? I need to know... Calvert? You know what, you don't know your left from your right. It's fine, I'm going to pinch your cot temporarily instead, because I was about to just merrily slap that down, and then I realised I need to know at what point I want to connect it, what point it connects up to Thule on the other side, because I would hate to cat's eye all of this, get through my fancy new gatehouse, and then discover that the Thule point connects one tile over. No, not fantasy races, Telltale. Fun in-game races. I mean, you're getting obstacle courses whether you like them or not, but I'd be interested to know if anybody does quite like obstacle courses. If you all want to break my heart and watch me cry on stream, I guess nobody vote for that one. How was the stream last night? Well, considering that neither of us were drinking, we certainly came across quite drunk, I think. We were high as anything on, like, giggles and I think tiredness from the week. Right, there we go. So, I connected up the Thule Spring one on this side, which means I need to connect up my new bridge along this line. It would help if I actually got through my gate properly. Okay. So we did eventually, yes, we did, about an hour into stream, bit over an hour into stream. Basically, when Calvert let me sail, instead of trying and failing to sail whilst also doing the news segment, I quietly got us there in the background while he was doing news. So we did get there in the end. We got to have a good explore, and then on the way home we also dropped by Wendell's place. In fact, we went to see Clark and Shrewkenstar's place, which was on our route back just by the villa, and had a quick peek in there before we came home. So we got there in the end. I did not sit in Calvert's lap, no. But Madoon clipped for posterity Calvert impaling himself on mine. So we're not escaping that one anytime soon. There he goes. He did tell us earlier on stream that he's still got the bottle stuck up there, though, so maybe that's why he's currently hiding in flower pot form. It was the slow pan down that got you. The thing is, I think I must have been there the whole time. When he was like, oh my god, where have you gone? You've disappeared. I was seeing me in my end of the boat, and obviously he wasn't. But then on the rewatch earlier today, I noticed that at some point he pans past super fast and the bottle's already there. It's just neither of us had noticed it yet on stream. So it's weird that it was showing in a different position for him than me, but I'm sure that Willow was having a very good cackle, because she does enjoy mischief. So let's cat's eye. Can you do anything in flower pot form, do you know? Or is it going to break your flower pot form? Do you want to help me with cat's eyes, or are you just going to stand around looking pretty? What were we doing? What were we doing when? Oh, do you know what? I can't keep up with 3 chats at once. You need watering. Given your comment earlier, I'm not touching that with a barge pole. No. I'm just going to look down at my feet and keep finding Calvert just like sliding in between them. No, memers, absolutely not. Hello, Azules. He only loses it if he mounts something. See, so you could help with cat's eyes. He moved, right? He was definitely up there. You just choose not to. Now, how do I get this corner? There we go. I missed the results of my poll as well. Right, let me go and look them up. How did we do on the races poll? Yay! People like obstacle courses. Meme has contributed a lot of channel points to like obstacle courses. You just didn't want to see me cry, did you, memers? Followed by relay races, followed by horses or mount races, and now he's in front. Horse mount races or boat races, tied. Mazes speed runs last. In fairness, I think speed runs are quite easy to stream. Mazes are quite difficult to stream, so I think that's fair. At some point, I will need to go and examine the results, less heavily skewed, to see whether it was only memers that liked obstacle courses. But like I said, I like obstacle courses, so you get in them whether you like them or not. Animal races, no human help. Had a daffodil in his inventory. What, just shedding flowers the whole way? Just leave me a little, like, breadcrumb trail of daffodils in his wake. Speaking of which, where has he? He shot off that way, right? Goodness knows where he's hiding now. Set them free and see which one gets along the line first. Yeah, but then, I mean, we could be sat there an awful long time while they sit around scratching themselves. I quite like the idea for creative ways to do obstacle courses of things like escort missions. For any of you that have ever played RPGs like like Assassin's Creed, like Dragon Age, stuff like that, like, you know, like the escort mission. I quite like the idea of an obstacle course which involves an escort mission where I give you all a bunch of named goblins at the start of the race, and you have to, without killing them or without being killed by them while you're trying not to kill them, get them through an obstacle course with you creatively. I think escort missions could be fun. What alcohol is for. Like putting down a replica behind you and then, oh, I see. You mean like a potted flower pot, and then just like, so I keep talking to it thinking that it's Calvert. Yeah, well, trolls make very good obstacles. You know, if you've got an obstacle course that's broken up by sections, You know, one section could just be absolutely full of trolls, which means the person who is in the lead is going to be the one that pulls all of the things on them and is most likely to get slowed down, while the people running behind are more likely to be able to shoot through that section without pulling anything if they're really lucky. I think there's all kinds of interesting obstacles you can do. I don't like them either, Tantile, and that's why they're an obstacle. You'd lose just to slay them. Depends how many I squeeze into how small a space, Tantale. I mean, you might die trying, but at least, you know, at least it will be glorious and caught on stream. Naked, equal opportunity. Troll. But do you want to be naked in a pen full of trolls? I mean... Damn, that's a good idea. Be right back. Wait, what was a good idea? What did he... I think he likes your idea as well, Mimas. Though goodness knows where he is, so I don't actually know where he shot off to. You and trolls have got a long history of you, Tantale. Yeah. A troll's going to feature in goblin camps. You know what? It's been so long since they announced it, I've kind of forgotten half the features. Was it just going to be goblins? Was it going to be other humanoids as well? Or was it just... I know there were going to be new types of goblins. You think he went to get some potted? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think he might have just said that. And actually, he's currently sitting under one of these crates or something, waiting to go boo. Or fart and then pretend that he didn't just fart on my stream again. Wouldn't put it past him. He could be anywhere. Who knows? Wait. There we go. Some goblins was meant to shoot arrows at us. Yeah, they were going to make new types of goblins, weren't they? And in fact, we've kind of already got those types of goblins in as much as, although they don't yet spawn in the game, I think you can get the souls of them in soul gems from lib sites. I heard you do that, Calvert. See, that's the trouble. Placing is never silent. See, I'm not fooled. But now we know where he is. Not stealthy enough. I don't know if it's been 4 or 5 years, but since they made the original kind of roadmap announcement, it's certainly been a while, and then we got, I think, like 1 update since. How many of them did you get? Are you just there busily potting flowers as we speak? Yep, there he is. Come on, show me a corner.
What is?
Show me a corner. There we go. You felt that one, did you? Good.
What is?
I'm so glad. You need to time it with the foghorn. Announce it. Wait, did they really announce it with shrines?
Oh, yes.
It hasn't been that many years, surely.
Magnificent.
Really? The show me a corner was a little sus. What? Oh, I'm sure we could find out by digging out patch notes. I didn't feel like it had been that long, but it's definitely been at least a couple.
Victory!
Plant one of those, and then we can wrap around the corner.
Goblin glee.
You just trying them all out, seeing what does what. Oh. Yesterday I was yellow potioning for shenanigans on stream with Calvert, and my yellow potion wore off and I didn't realise, and he came back downstairs and just found me merrily standing in a pile of crates being like, do, nobody can see me. We can, however, see you talk, Calvert. I'm on deed here. But I suspect he can keep up with my pushing. and I can't quite. Crates are just slightly too small to peer into, and I don't want to stand too close or he'll fart on me or something horrible. Charmer that he is. I know you're there. So yes, watch out for your yellow potions wearing off, folks. Because I was like, hee, I can't be seen. And then I saw me on stream and I was like, fuck. God damn it. I was not paying attention to my own event window.
Hey, over here.
Hello, precious. Right, one more cat's eye, then we're connected up. And then, since nobody, I think in Freedom, was particularly bothered about me breaking the highway, then I can break this one down. Maybe I just have to suck it up and also lose the waystone and then make sure I get to go make one to reconnect it back up. Though, on the other hand, we said we don't actually need a waystone here, right? Because although I've now made a 3-way connection, this actually was at a connection point where we didn't need one, so this would be replaced by a cat's eye eventually anyway. So, right, I'm gonna go crowbarring these up, break the highway, and then we're gonna try catapulting some stuff at a bridge and see how that works. Yeah, I can remove it. I'm about to. I can't save the waystone though, which would have been quite helpful. And I was worried about, because I don't have a waystone to replace it with, but actually when I reconnect up the highway, there doesn't need to be a waystone here anyway, because this was no longer a connecting point. So it's a moot point. I'm not going to break anything by not being able to put one back down. And he's back! Right. Have you got a crowbar on you, Calvert? Are you going to help me break highways? I've got my own crowbar, so if you've got one, by all means, help break it from the other end. And thankfully, because this is all on deed, it's not going to take forever for us to do. Assuming that also applies to bridges I don't own that are on my deed. We'll find out. Now that we finished the bridge, I can use all those leftover rock shards to load my catapult with. Does anybody here know anything about war machines? Calvert could be a waystone. Alas, I don't think yellow potions can turn you into a waystone. GMs can. But yes, we'll take this down, and then we'll play with catapults. Now watch it be a random peep who doesn't play. Yeah, no, they are not saved, sadly. And cat's eyes are easy enough to replace, but because you have to use compasses for waystones, it makes it harder to just knock one up. I mean, I don't have a shortage of compasses, I just don't have any on me here right now. But I have got so many care slot alts that it wouldn't take me long to log one in and mail myself some more starter compasses to make waystones with. It would just slow down my reconnecting of the highway. And when you take a highway down, really, you want to try not to take it down for longer than necessary, because I don't think anyone really uses wagoners. Well, I don't know why I did that. I don't think anybody really uses wagoners on Exodus. It would be more problematic on some of the servers where they do use them regularly. But all the same, just try not to break highways for longer than you have to. That's about your experience with war machines. See, you like the trebuchet, do you? With the counterweight and things. Yeah, Warwick Castle's got a great one. Tantail, are you also a Brit? Wait, did we know this? I keep discovering so many people that I didn't know were Brits are Brits. And there's the last one. Calvert, can you check protection on that? I think there might be an extra one at the top between you and the waystone. It looks like there's another kind of loose orphan one. Or is that actually connecting? Maybe I'm... Right, that one goes. Have we got any more up here? Or is this done? Okay, cool. Yeah. Because those might extend their protection. Yeah, that one definitely needs to come down. But in fairness, it needs to come down anyway, because we no longer need that connecting point. So that's going to come down. None of these should go far enough to interfere, I don't think. Now, interestingly, why are those not connecting down and round? Let's have a look. Have I missed one somewhere? Have I? So that goes blue across the bridge. Is it because we took the waystone up and out of the way? It only connects at one point, though. That's weird, right? Why are these... hang on. Wait. Why are these two not talking to one another? Anybody know? All the best people are in the UK. Well, I don't know, but a lot of them certainly. So, why are these two not talking? Well, moot point. I don't actually want to connect them up now because otherwise I'm going to get protection here, whereas right now, is this one going to extend protection to the bridge? I suspect it probably is. Maybe. Well, let's find out. Tell you what, let's just go and start loading up. Yeah, it might be a glitch when I remove the waystone, but in any case, I might have to actually remove a couple more of those in order to be able to catapult the bridge. We're about to find out. So what I'm actually going to do is pick up my stones, take them over to the catapult. I think the minimum distance that a catapult can shoot is like 3 tiles. So it's probably in about the right place. Set for that one. Set them both. Let's find out, shall we? Now, the reason I was asking if anybody knew anything about catapults is because I don't remember if it tells you how many winches throw things how far, but maybe we'll just do a little bit of trial and error and see. I think as long as it's pointing dead forward, it's only going to get this bridge right. It's not going to shoot off to the sides. Well, one would hope. What do we need? We need to take these out, load them, winch them. So let's put those cat's eyes back down. Put that back down. Let's find out, shall we? It'll say how many tiles. Oh, good night, Calvert. Has he just gone? There you are. I was going to say, have you just gone running back to Deed? I will catch you later. Thank you for the help bridge building, cat's eye bashing, and we're not going to talk about the whole P thing. Right, what's it doing? Catapulting. Let's find out. You like his leaf necklace? It's a nice one, isn't it? Yeah, it's a maple leaf. It's the maple leaf necklace. It's a good one. Can also change the angle. Yes, I'm hoping not to have to interfere with that. I also don't know what the maximum number of shards we can load in at a time, because presumably you can combine shards. You know what, I'm going to do a sensible thing, and I am going to, very briefly, just before I start doing this, just go and read the page on catapults to make sure that we don't fuck this up entirely. Area's too crowded if it's got surrounding objects. That, okay, so might have to move the vehicle away, don't know. So load it first, activate it, right click, we know that. Then winch it. With every winch it shoots 1 tile further. Minimum distance is 3, we were right. Which is, okay, so this is the bit that confuses me. So minimum distance is 3 tiles, which is 10 winches. And then every winch past that point is an extra tile, right? Okay. The other thing I was looking for was how much can I put in it at once? Anything within a small radius of the landing position will take damage. Size of the radius is determined by the size of the thrown projectile. I hope I'm not going to hit the bridge right next door by catapulting this one, but I might just run over and check, just to be sure. You can do a maximum of 20 damage in a single hit. Okay, you know what? Let's just trial and error it. Well, yeah, so you can do a massive rock shard pile, but it might be that we quite quickly hit cap. I don't know how much damage rock shards do, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with an rock shard, We'll see how much damage that does, assuming I actually hit the bridge at all. And then we'll try scaling it up. Do it scientifically. You kill pig! Why have you been killing pigs with catapults, Madoon? Outrageous. Outrageous. Maybe it's not up to date? Yeah, trebuchets are trickier because you've got to do the counterweight thing. QL of the rock shards matter. Possibly, but I've only got 2 QL. Two different kinds of quality rock shards here. I've got like 50 to 60 and 60 plus, so... Oh, I see, for the journal. Okay. I gotcha. Right. So let's start with 1. Load. Then we need to winch... Wait, it told me I had to do a minimum of 10 winches. Was that right? Drag. Need to take at least 1 more cat's eye off. Is it not going to let me go over the top of it, Bun? Or do you mean because I might do the minimum 3, it won't let me do it? I think you might be right. Yeah. You're 90% sure you only started with 1 at 4. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's hang on. Right, let's winch 1. We'll throw approximately 1 tiles. See, that does suggest that the wiki's wrong, doesn't it? If the wiki says you have to start with a minimum of 10. Let's try 5. Let's head for the middle of the bridge and see if it will let me shoot over the protection. But because the minimum it can shoot is still 3, as Bun says, it may be that it won't actually allow me to do it until I take up some more cat's eyes. See, now it's saying I need to winch it more before it can fire properly. 1 tiles with 6 winches. Okay, alright. If we do it another 5, so it sounds like although it gives you the it'll shoot 1 tile message, actually it's going to stay at like... Now it will shoot 4 tiles with 11 winches. So yeah, it looks like it's 10 winches, gets you your first 3 tiles, which is your minimum, and then every winch over. So we actually want it just a couple more than that, don't we, from where we are at the moment. Does it include the tile that it's on, does anybody know, in terms of its range, or is it tiles from it? What I probably actually want to do is make it so that my minimum distance is definitely bridge, because I do not have enough skill for this. See, it's still saying 4 tiles with 12 winches. That's weird, right? Because the wiki says every winch past that point increases it by a tile. Now it's up to 5. So, as Bun says, it probably now shouldn't let me fire. There you go. Right, so let's go and just pry up a couple more cat's eyes. So this one's going to cause trouble, which is the one I thought would cause trouble. How about that one? Yeah, it looks like the wiki's kind of giving you an estimate. Like it made me do 2 winches for an extra tile there. We'll see. And I think that one might also interfere with it, but I'm not sure. But since we've broken the highway anyway, I'm not sure of cat's eyes. Let's just take it up just in case. Ooh. Would help if I wasn't still viewing it. I think we are still very safely on deed here. Yes, we are. So Nefarious, the deed here won't actually extend across the canal when it's done, but I made it sufficiently large so that I could resize in several directions in order to do work in the surrounding area, like across the canal. So it's only really temporarily cutting over this way. Now, I don't know if that one's going to interfere with it or not. It doesn't touch the bridge, so it shouldn't. But when I was building that bridge over there, many more cat's eyes interfered with it than should have, I think, based on the view protection. So we'll see. May still not. Still loaded. See? Still doesn't want to let me. Now, is it the cat size or is it the bridge? Tell you what, let's move. I think we'll moving unload it. If we unload, let's just drop those there. I am going to move it so that it's minimum 3 tiles, definitely hits bridge. Because there's no reason to risk it going short, right? So that should put it 1, 2, 3, always hitting the bridge, even if I bugger up the shot. Let's find out.
Hello.
Protection is also off. It's 1 more. So, as in, you think I need to take this one down as well? I think, let's have a look. And or this one? Well, we'll soon find out, won't we? So let's not load my crowbar into it. Nearly. I think you're right, and it probably still will not let me, and if it doesn't let me, I'll just take those 2 down. So I need 2 more cat's eyes. Let's try loading. Let's do our 10 winches. We were counting in Norwegian all your favourite stuff. Ruffle. Plus. We did another what? Although actually we only need it to go 3, right? Wait, how's it up to 15? Does it not unwinch when you pull it places? God damn it! Unwind. Let's start again. Ooh, I don't like that sound. I assumed as soon as you moved it, it would lose, like it would... Apparently not. I can also only count in English. Right, so what are we up to? It'll throw 3 tiles. We only need it to throw 3 tiles. Will it let us? Yes! Oh, no, wait. What do you mean it doesn't sound like they hit anything? How can it not have hit anything? How is this possible? Have I angled it badly? Where can they have ended up? Hello? Surely, with that few winches, I can't have accidentally launched it too far. Right? Right? If I'm trying to shoot 3 and its minimum is 3... Who knows? Right, but it doesn't seem to think that those cat's eyes are interfering, so... Let's try again. This demolition section of the stream might turn out to be really boring and end more abruptly than I intended. We'll see. Let's move these over. Try again. Visually hit the bridge and then the shards vanished. I'll look a little bit more closely this time. So, let's try loading one. Come on. Load. 10 winches. Shame that the sun's gone down, but we'll keep our eye out. I like how I'm still getting the waystone arrows, even though I took the waystone down. Oops. See? Ah. Now it's giving me can't fire them, not allowed. That's interesting. We don't. I mean, that was one of my questions, right? Because this is on my deed, but bridges don't technically have ownership, I guess. You can't rename them if they're on your deed, if you didn't make them. But it might be that we can't catapult bridges at all, but I don't know. All the same, let's just pry up 2 more, and if it still won't actually let us hit the bridge. It's weird, though, that it let me fire the last one, but only when I repositioned it just then did it tell me I couldn't do it. So it might be that I can't catapult the bridge at all, and I've just got to slow bash it, in which case I will not subject you guys to one of those on stream. I'll just reconnect up the highway and I will slow bash it another time. Yeah, because, well, it's all on deed, so I've got destruction permission on the bridge. It's just I don't know if there's something with bridges where they don't work with war machines that would override it, but they certainly used to, because back when it used to be way, way harder to take bridges down, I'm sure war machines was the way that we did it. Like trying to take bridges down, even off was it even off deed? Or at least on deed, taking bridges down on deed, because you can't one click destroy them like you can buildings. I'm sure we used to employ war machines to do that. Let's take this one out as well, just in case. But it's been a while since I've tried taking down a bridge with anything but my lead maul, so who knows? Oh wait, it's still loaded from the last one, isn't it? Right, we're going to wait for that to pop. Is it now going to let me fire? Yes! Doesn't sound like it. What do you mean it doesn't sound like it hit anything? We saw it. No damage. Super weird, right? Let's try doing it a bit further in case, I don't know, in case it's something to do with the end pieces. I wonder if I start breaking the bridge down, if it will then let me do a bridge that's already kind of in progress. Who knows? Can't affect bridges with catapults, Jake reckons. When you say mostly, Jake, does that mean I can affect some parts of it with catapults? Or is it just immune? Ah, oh, damn it. So you did used to be able to. Jake says they broke it 4 or 5 years ago, or possibly on purpose took it out. God damn it. Right, well, just experimentally, while I'm here, let's get a sense of how long this is going to take Crim off stream to take this bridge down. Need permit. Wait, what do you mean I need permissions? What do you mean I need permissions? Can you not take down bridges on your own deed anymore? If you don't own the bridge? Surely not. Surely not. I think I might know the problem. One moment. Because I'm confidently being like, why can't I take down this bridge on my own deed? But actually, I'm a member of Thulspring, so although I've got permissions on this deed, Crim does not have mayoral permissions on this deed. So we are going to super quickly, we're going to super quickly run Aramis over, who has about as much war machine skill as I do, and see if he can do it. Right, let's get him on. While he's doing that, how about we have another poll? Oh, yeah, sorry, Ruffle, you asked a little while ago, am I Mayor Caroline? No, I am not. Yes. So we're going to run him over. Where did we get to with polls? Let me just start running him. Thankfully, he does not have far to run at all. Let's just get him drinking some water first, though. Otherwise, he's going to run out of stamina just as soon as he reaches a scorpion. So what do? We did a poll on types of races. But maybe move the catapult onto the bridge and give it a try. Okay, I'll try that next, Jake. I'm, hang on. I don't know if you're watching the stream. Hello, how are you?
Whoops. Nobody saw that,
Did
right?
we make it back in time? Can you guys hear me? What's just been cast?
Da 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 da. Victory!
Another one. Ritual of the Sun. Cool. Right, am I back? Am I back? Can you all hear me? Hey! That was OBS's second crash of the night. However, I am blaming this beast of a laptop rather than OBS for now. Yep, back loud and clear. Oh no! Except you got my mini window. Right, hang on, we can fix that. Let's get you back to Crim. Except not like that, apparently. Right. Let's give it a hot minute. Now. Way! Wait, does what screen look like Calvert popping a... What? Thanks, Robbie. You just ruined my lovely picture. No bickets for you either. Right. Okay, right, we've got OBS back up. Let me just shuffle that over. So many things are just going wrong right now. Frankly, it's amazing we got a stream at all. Right, cool, that's back in place. Let me go back to my mayor and hope that I haven't run him into scorpions. I have not. Right, let's carry back on there. We should just now noticed it. What's that? It's just because we're standing close for a selfie. I'm not clicking back to examine it more closely. Thankfully, the Worm devs were kind and did not build copper feel into the possible emotes that you can do in-game. So I think we are all safe from that one. Probably. So, running the mayor over, gonna get the mayor to try. And then Jake suggests, who is right there, in fact. Yay! Jake likes my portcullis. Oh, I can hear water, which means have I just... No, I haven't just run my priest into the canal. We're all good. But I'm just going to tell Jake where we are streaming since he is technically on the stream. So if I can even get my own thing without AFK running my priest into... You know what, we'll just run him along the canal. It's fine. It's fine. He could just run along the waterbed. There we go. There we go. I know what I'm doing. I haven't got 100 different things open. Right, there we go. Because I figure if people are actually featuring on a stream in local, they should get to see where they are. Right, let's go back to OBS. Already have enough pervs going around kissing everything. Would you not like people kissing everything, Tantail? I will try and remember not to kiss you at events. In fairness, I only tend to kiss people that I like. Well, not that I like, but I mean like that I feel like I know well enough that if they were weirded out by it, they would tell me. Sometimes I get a little bit overexcited though. Right, so we've got our shards close enough. I'm gonna try doing this, and then we might try Jake's thing as well and actually try moving it onto the bridge. But since it's currently the 3 tiles minimum away, we'll try it with that one first. We've now got Aramis and Local, who is my mayor. That's my mag priest. Good night, Moomin. And hi, Jake. Nice to see you in chat. So, Jake, just to catch you up, because I'm talking about building a kind of a mini event deed here on Exodus so that we could do like pop-up on stream events for things. Today's been sort of pottering around reciting this bit of bridge and highway and talking about what kinds of things we might run here. What kind of buildings I need to start with, because I'm not very good, it turns out, at planning a deed when I've got such a big open blank slate as this place has got. But we're talking about things like races and obstacle courses and some kind of sparring matches, maybe other kinds of games like that. Yes, Mag Priest. Right, he's here. Pantail, you need to get down to Sid sometime soon. You know you can just PM Sid orders on the forum though, right? And she packages them up beautifully and posts them to you. Okay. Right, priest in situ. Let's see what we can do, if anything. So the machine is still loaded. Are we now going to find out that he doesn't have sufficient body strength to fire it? I have a horrible suspicion we might, you know. How's this going to go? Load. Winch 10. You need like body one, like 21 body strength or something for this, don't you? Which he probably doesn't have. How much channeling does he have? Why? Have you got a good way for me to do it? With Mag Priest abilities. How much channeling does he have? Not a huge amount, because he mostly does strong walling. So probably not enough, whatever you're suggesting. Hang on, let me find out for you. 24. Channeling 24. Wrath of Magrenon. You can tell how much I don't use anything outside of my main utility spells on anything. Okay, is it going to let him fire? Something goes wrong, and it doesn't fire as far as you expected. Oh, wow, it didn't even make it the minimum 3 tiles. But he was able to fire it, so there isn't a body strength thing there. So what do I need for Wrath of Magrenon? I mean, yeah, if you want to run one over, by all means. Aramis is premium is premium for the year. He's my portal ping priest, so he should be able to add extra people to the deed. Let's just try again. See how this does. So we're going to load it again. Tell you what, let's position Crim so she can actually see what happens while I'm over here doing this. So load it, winch it 10. Let's see. You need 50. Yikes. Let's try again. Was a resounding failure. I mean, if the worst comes to the worst, I will just bash this down with them all. But if we can find more interesting ways to do it, I am all for that. I'd have brought your trebuchet over, Jake, except that cannot be dragged. It turns out it can only be pushed. Which day? Which, wait, what? 50 channeling in a day? Bun's gonna do you a Bun segment. Tell us how, Bun. Let's try launching again. Fire! No. So we said that the minimum that it could shoot was 3 tiles, right? Including on failures. So that seems to be including the tile that it's on. Unless I'm missing something. Let's just bring it one closer and see. Let's try again, shall we? Right. Let's have Crim watching that way. And let's go and pick up some of these ones that I failed to lob at it. In fact, I'm going to do fresh ones, because if we want to see how much damage they do, I guess we should start with undamaged ones. So load it, winch it, try again. Yeah, and push hardly moves the things. I know. I pushed it like 2 or 3 tiles, and then I was like, oh no. It's just gonna have to stay. Oh, I see. Using an awful lot of favour. Yeah, okay. So let's try firing again. Let's just turn that round. What the hell happened? It sounds as though the stone shards hit 2 bridge parts and nothing else. 3 damage. Wow. All right, Billy Barker. So Jake, is this your mag priest? Let's get you added. You're already part of a village. Does that mean there's going to be a cooldown? You might not be able to join mine because you'd have to leave your village first and then there. I think there's a 24-hour cooldown on that. I think. So that may not work. We'll find out. Tell you what I will also do, I'm going to drop my mole, because even though Aramis has probably next to nobody strength, the mayor gets a big damage bonus for things, so it won't hurt for him to try and see how much he can actually bash it. I would rather not have Crim have to leave Thule Spring temporarily to bash this down. Let's drop those stone shards, that's not helping. So this piece of the bridge is currently on 3.7 damage from those stone shards. What do we do with a destroy action? We'll find out. Mag favor can be done via coffee ibricks or whatever. We were trying to mimics, and thus far are doing very little damage. We can use it on it. Only the mayor. Got Ruffle around as well. I don't think, Ruffle, that actually you can help, because I haven't tried bashing it on Crim, but it wouldn't let Crim do stuff. Okay, let's try adding you. So just see how much damage he just did. Oh, wow. Well, he just did 40 damage with no strength. Let's try adding you all the same, though. So is it going to let you join the deed? Okay, let me just check that as a citizen you can destroy things. Let's have a look. Manage roles. Citizens. So, destroy fences, destroy items. Do you also need destroy buildings? Are bridges technically structures? Not that there's any buildings on here. Yeah, it's on a deed. Okay, let's put it on there anyway. I don't think you're about to go blow up my thing. Ooh! That was exciting. So, Wrath of Magrenon, what does it do? Exactly. Did it let you? I'm not seeing any damage on these. Yeah, we saw it as well. It was awesome. You've got the destroy building perms. Destroys buildings and fences. See, it counts it as a structure. What did it give you in your event window when you tried to do that? Because we certainly saw it, but it doesn't seem to have damaged it. Can't destroy buildings you don't have access to. Yes. I'm confused. Yeah, we will bash it with the mole memers. Like, I just had Aramis try with next to nobody strength using my mole, and because he is the mayor, he did 45 damage in one swing, so he can take this down pretty fast. But while we're here with a mag priest with more channeling than me and a catapult, we figured we might as well try stuff. 5-minute cooldown. Yeah. But that building everybody has access to, as in they can walk through it. Oh, you mean because he doesn't have permissions on it? Yeah. I'm not worried about him going and destroying my nice building anyway. He just complimented me on it. Okay, so that's got a cooldown, Jake. All right. So, tell you what, let's just move Crim back over. I'm going to I might as well start bashing with Aramis while we figure this out. But I said I was going to put another poll up. So let me start him bashing some stuff. And then I'm going to put another poll up on kind of games that we might like to play on stream. So let's, in fact, let's move him off the bridge that he's about to destroy, just in case. So polls. Let's do a poll for... We already talked about races. What were the other things we talked about? Real life games in Worm? Skill competitions? Let's do the real life party. Yeah, let's do the real life party games in Worm. Like, some of you might have actually already played these in Worm, some of you might not. You might also find that some of these are games that you don't have a reference point for from, I don't know, TV shows or whatever else, but okay, let's try some. What do we reckon about? So, Hangman, we did quite recently. Connect 4, we talked about. Jeopardy. What are the other things that we've managed to translate? Jeopardy's kind of quiz-based, so let's put that in quizzes together. Some kind of battleships game, maybe, if we can figure out a way to do it, although probably not with War Machines, because I think Bun's already tried that. And I don't know, something else, like Ready Steady Cook or something. There you go, poll started. Well, he's making headway at least. You just played Codename. Oh, I do like Codenames. I am very fond of Codenames. What's he up to? 78 damage, so he's slowing down a little bit. So it's probably going to take him 3 bashes to take one of these down, maybe 4 without help. Are you also bashing over there, Billy Barker / Jake? What about character chess checkers, where each character makes their own move? You'd need an awful lot of people to come and do that to have a complete set. Thanks, Jake. At least we're starting on the same side, so we won't get to a point midway bridge where we have to start hopping over gaps. Okay, we're doing Wrath of Magrenon again, so let's have a look. Have you had a look for the damage before and after, just in case? We're going to see an exciting something or other. Wait, what happened? Did you start doing it? No damage. Damn it. We missed the shiny thing. Yeah, evidently it does not like working on bridges. Counts them as structures, but I guess because it doesn't count them as buildings or fences, doesn't do it on bridges. Now we know. Well, I suppose it doesn't need to be finished right now. Jake, I mean, by all means, if you want to hang around and bash a bridge, do, but don't feel like you've got to hang around and help me take this down. I'm going to have Aramis quietly do it in the background while I carry on doing other stuff. Because Crim is not a member of this deed, so she has got permissions through role management, but not as a citizen, and there are certain permissions that you cannot give to people who are not citizens or mayors of your deed, and destroying stuff is one of them. So I think that means that Crim can also not do this. Now, I think that was the reason that she couldn't catapult, but kaboom! And there goes an end piece. But they have changed the rules on bridges, so once you got the end pieces out the way, the others get easier. I also saw it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't try bashing with her, but I think that the perms problems she was having with the catapult was that. So I'm assuming she probably cannot bash bridges. She wouldn't be able to destroy buildings, but let's find out. Is it going to let me? No. Because I don't have permissions on this structure, because I'm not a citizen of this deed or the person who made this bridge. So there you go, that's why. But that's okay, because the mayor gets such a hefty bonus anyway that even though he's got naff body strength, certainly compared to Crim's, it doesn't actually matter because he gets such a big bonus anyway, and he's using my lead maul, which, okay, could do with a bit of a tune-up. It's down to quality 75 now, but, you know, it'll live. Right, so I'm just going to line him up, bashing a couple more, and then I'm going to go wandering. Because what I don't want to do is leave that highway disconnected for ages and ages. So, what else was I talking about doing? So we've got this one more or less connected up, although we've broken this connection temporarily so that we can bash this bridge. I can connect it up again once I think enough of this bridge is out of the way, probably. Yeah, catapult's limited just to members of the deed, which is why I ran Aramis over, so he can damage it with the catapult, but he does bugger all. If I put enough stone shards together, he would probably do more, but I don't know that he would do it any faster than just bashing it with my maul, which spoiled my fun a little bit, but you know, whatever. So while I'm doing that, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go over and see if I have any success at all at actually managing to make one of those brazier pillars for the pylon, whilst also waffling on stream. How long is that pole gone? That pole's about to close. 80 weight for ammo required to do good damage. So, what have we already got in here? What does one need for a marble brazier pillar? Let's find out. Mortar, marble bricks, the brazier bowl, fine, good. I was worried it was going to make me have clay or something. So, Jeopardy and Quizzes 1. Mimix threw points at it. Let's do a quick refresh. What do we got? Mimix, were you the only one who voted, dare I ask? Was it all on you? Oh, Mimix and Ruffle. God, you guys. No votes. Useless. Useless. Have too many of you fallen asleep for me to run polls at this time of night? I wouldn't blame you, in fairness. What have we got? Oh, okay, so 97%. What was the 3%? Cool. Right, anyway, what was I doing? Yes. Loading myself up to go and build a thing while the bashing continues. Don't actually need the stone shards or the logs, so I've got nothing in here that's helpful except for the brazier bowls. That's fine. That's fine. So let's have one of those. And somewhere here there's mortar. Maybe. Probably. There's mortar. Marble bricks, mortar, brazier bowls. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So fancy. Just get Aramis doing a little bit more destruction over there. Look at it all lit up at night. So you see, I've got these torches in the channels, like the channels on this side, and they're quite nice, and they're almost invisible during the daytime because they're iron torches on a kind of greyish marble. But the channels on the other side are bigger, and because Calvert's got these lovely marble braziers all the way along this flank of this western flank of Thulspring, I thought it might be quite nice to just tuck a couple of marble braziers into these bits here instead of the torches, which look really quite tiny. Like, they're fine by the gate, but over here they just seem a little bit underwhelming, so I thought I might try and hope, because it looks like it's kind of the right size to push a brazier into, right? I reckon that will work. More eggs. Had enough of eggs. Well, I could change it to something else. But I do quite like my eggs. I was toying with several different things when I was making my channel points, being like, all the different things that they could be. But eggs is what you've got for now, so you're just gonna have to sit on them. 67%. Ouch. Good shout. Thank you, Ruffle. Tell me you're not bashing it with a rare large maul. Oh, it's a rare lead maul as well. Okay. Nice. Have I still not succeeded in making the cut up? Hey, there we go. Right, good, good. Right, let's just start chipping away at that quietly. You bash with a rare lead maul as well. Bun sits on his eggs. Rare lead axe for bashing wood structures. Well, I mean, if you've got them, you might as well use them, right? Out of interest, does the rarity mean they take less damage than non-rare ones would? Does it work for bashing stuff as well? You did miss the voting memers. Oh, what is he about to, Oh dear, so he is. God, you made swift work of that. God, that rare mole's doing a lot of work, isn't it? Well, it looks like the bridge is almost down, so I'm going to get to go and run back and and connect up that highway again in a moment. In the meantime, you can just stare at this sheet of marble. That's very exciting, isn't it? Can I get you a better view? Not where I put that wagon, I can't. How about a horse's backside? Does that work for you? You know what? Let's just. Oh, can we get a view over there? No, not really. Let me just move my priest before he falls down a hole. But actually, Jake has almost got that bridge down. So, woo! That is a horse's backside. So let's just leave that there for a second. Run back up with my cat's eyes so we can reconnect the highway and not leave Exodus broken for hours while I waffle away on stream. Oh my god, why have we got Shrikenstar in local as well? Everybody's here. And Clark. Got you all. Wait till we blow up the bridge plan. Yeah. So, there went that bridge. And I'm going to lower this bit of terrain here, but if I do it little bit by little bit, it should let me do it even once I've got the cat's eyes back down, but if not, I will take them up at another point when I'm ready to terraform it down. So, let me just grab some cat's eyes. We're going to reconnect that up so that I don't leave the highway broken longer than necessary, and let's hope that this time it does actually reconnect it around the bend, because it was being a bit funny about it before, wasn't it? Thank you very much for the help, by the way, Jake. Don't think Exodus will notice. Well, I mean, so this is the second time this week that I have disrupted the highway, and the last time that I disrupted the highway, Wendell chipped in and he was like, "Don't think anybody uses wagoners here. I think you're all right." I was like, yeah. I've never seen a wagoner on Exodus, in fairness, and I don't think there are many people coming and navigating Exodus by highways who aren't also just pretty familiar with Exodus. There we go. There's my extra cat's eyes. But all the same, you know, try not to break things for longer than necessary. Risk accidentally throwing people off but especially where there are wagoner deliveries happening. So let's pop this back down. Is that broken bridge going to slow my Uber Eats order, says Clark. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I think there probably are other ways round, but I didn't want to go chasing up and down the mall to make sure that I hadn't broken it entirely. So, I mean, hopefully it hasn't broken too much. But the bit that connects all the way through from here, it's broken this section of it anyway through the tunnel. So, all the same. Try not to leave it down longer than necessary. I like that I've still got my green arrows here, even though the waystone's long gone. Now, is it going to collect them up properly this time? Or is it still going to be broken somehow? Hey! It went green! Highway reconnected. Magnificent. And then I will terraform this down at another point, which will allow me to make this one a gentler slope. And with this whole bit going down, then this gentle slope will tuck neatly underneath that bridge just there.
Oh, yes.
And so now we have a beautiful, nice, clean sort of thoroughfare link between the gates of Thulspring and this other side of the canal.
Well done.
Thank you for the help, Jake. Appreciate it.
Da 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 da.
You've never seen a wagoner actually running? Ah, I've seen a few times. The time you really want to look out for them is at Christmas, because at Christmas they get drawn by reindeer. So you get to see them sort of looking a little bit different. But there we go. So we are all now
take my money.
Connected back up. This bit was already broken anyway. So, and this is now actually another place where we don't need a waystone. That could just go directly around the corner. I might leave it there anyway, though, because if somebody makes a deed up here at some point and wants to reconnect this, like, the waystone's not doing any harm there. It's just a little bit pointless at the moment. But there we go. So now we have our connection. Magnificent. Should have been on here 4 months ago when you used 2 wagoners over 900 crates. Is that you moving stuff, like, just from one deed to another, so you don't have to haul it yourself in wagons? So then, now, I mean, it does connect up this beautiful road. However, I should point out, we are not going to actually be able to connect a highway through here, because I care more about my fancy pylon building gateway than I do about the highway, and I can't cut the highway through it, unfortunately. I could route one round it, though, in order to connect these 2 pieces of highway up. But first I need to figure out what I'm doing with the rest of the deed. You want to use one once you decide where to live to bind up. So I know, for example, on Xanadu, I think they're quite popular, because on Xanadu people are really quite a long way away from one another, and you can't just hop over to go and pick up dirt from people. So I totally get it there, and I think they get quite a lot of use on Indie, or they used to. Don't know if they still do. But look at it being all fancy. So good. Right. I'm going to position these somewhere a little bit better, so I can just carry chipping on away at that pillar without you having to look at a horse's backside. And at some point, maybe now Calvert has repaved all of this, I will carry on this paving style a little way in the other direction as well. The thing about that canal is it's kind of been a bit of a patchwork over the years. So that canal has, I think, 4 different kinds of paving along the sides of it anyway. Thanks, Jake. Billy has left the deed. Let's add that back to the crafting window and take the bits back out of the wagon. Or am I still carrying the bits? No, I'm not. We're good. We're good. We're good. Let's do that. What are we on? 49 mortar. Let's just start with that, shall we? Would help if I could type. Cool. So let's get Crim started doing that one. Yes. Yeah, so there's lots around Tantale, you just haven't seen them on the go. It's rare that I do, and every so often when I've seen one, I've tried following it, like to see how long I can keep up with it, because it is quite funny watching them. There are a few places, like there's a road on Release going through a tunnel where somebody zigzagged the highway across a 3-tile one, and they zigzagged the cat's eyes the whole way. Very weird watching a wagoner hit one of those bits where they just kind of like jerk back and forth. But for the most part, it's quite cool just watching them trundling around. Like, I quite like them. I think they're charming. As in, usually I've been on one of my alts, and I have them running around, sort of like following them for a little way, but I don't want to take them too far away from wherever they are, previously Easter egg hunting or whatever else. Get them lost, or sometimes it's just so, you know, we encounter a load of mobs and I'm like, oh, I don't want to follow it that much. If it's 50 tiles of zigzag, might show 75 tiles distance on the signs. Do you know if when highways go on a diagonal, whether it counts that as one tile or if it counts the 2 tiles as if it had gone round the corner then? I've never actually gone looking into how highways calculate the tiles distance. You looted 900 crates of dirt on a disbanded deed, Jake. That is some mighty terraforming potential you've got ahead of you. Which reminds me, at some point, Jake tells me we can go and have a look at one of his new deeds, which is up high on a mountain somewhere. And I think he said something about a vault, like as in like a drop shaft kind of down through the mountain. I want to go play if you've got one of those, because that sounds like super fun. Don't know if it shows 2 tiles or 1.5 for the hypotenuse or just 1. 60% sure. I mean, that's not a very good confidence interval there, Mumix. So, right, now that we've blown up the bridge, finished building the other bridge, reconnected the highway, working on my marble pillar, maybe I will actually get all of those 3 things done before the end of stream, you never know. And I did some polls, but half of you were asleep for the last one, so I might have to abandon the polls idea. But event deed, pop-up deeds. Tell you what I will do. There's a few people who are here now who weren't here at the start. And if you voted at the start and you want to vote again in this one, that's fine. I'm just going to do the initial one again. The kind of... Because, like, this is the principle, right? Will people actually be interested in coming and portal hopping across? Or, if they're more local, coming across by other means to come and take part in on-stream competitions for fun or for glory or for any other reason, just to, you know, beat Mumix. Let's pop that one up again. I'm annoyed that you can't run several polls concurrently and that you can't run polls for longer than 10 minutes, but whatevs. Let's. Oh, Madoon. For some people, sailing might be quicker, but because the start towns tend to be in the middle, usually it's quicker for you to sail to your start town and portal hop. But as I said, what I would try and do for things like this is give more than just from the start of the streams notice, but that would be a backup for anybody who missed it before. So what I would try and do is decide a week in advance if we were going to do one of those next time, tell people what it was, put a post up on the forums also to that effect, and then when we kicked off the stream, I would give it probably 60 minutes from the start of stream before we actually started doing the thing, so that anybody joining at that point, if they wanted to, would still have an hour to last minute decide to opt in and make their way to a portal hop across and join us. Sometimes, like, we can also do, we might also be able to do things like summons. I don't necessarily have a priest here perpetually, but I have got a portal priest quite nearby, so it would be possible to do that. There you go. So you got another poll up. This one's only going up for 5 minutes. So this is the one that we kicked off the stream with. Since I discovered polls today, and now there's no stopping me. I kind of like, there's other buildings that I've kind of got thoughts about that I would like on this that I don't necessarily have like a game to attach to it. I just think they'd be cool. Like I've waffled a couple of times about like a treehouse micropub wrapped around a big oak tree. Yes, you did, Madoon. It's just that we had it at the start of stream, and a whole bunch of people have joined partway through the stream since then. So we're running it again. You can vote again, or you can opt out of voting. It's up to you. I mean, you can remix, but why would you? Wait, did I click the thing that allowed you to use channel points on this one? I don't know if I did or not. If it lets you, then I suppose you could. But maybe you want to hang on to them for this one. I mean, if you're somebody who keeps an eye on the forums, Tantail, or actually for anybody who's on the Crim's Coterie Discord, I would announce it there as well. And because I am terrible at remembering to actually post about that, I think most of you are probably on there, but just in case, let me just pull up the thing with the Discord invite for anybody who might want to be on that who isn't already. Start doing that one again. Then, what am I looking for? That one. There we go. Just in case anybody isn't in the Discord that wants to be, it's just there for stream notifications. But so likewise, when the stream notification, in the stream notifications channel, if we were doing something like that, I'd do an at everyone. If we knew that there was going to be an upcoming game or something, I'd put something on the forums, I'd put something on the notifications channel. And I would try and announce it the stream before, if possible. Sometimes I don't know until like a day before I stream what I'm actually going to stream. But you never know, I might get more organised when I've actually got some events to wrap it around. Speaking of which, for anybody who wasn't here last week, at the end of last week's stream when I mentioned it, I'm not going to be streaming next Saturday, and I think that's possibly the first one I've missed. Maybe since I started? I don't know that I've missed one yet. Did I miss one over Christmas? I don't know. Anyway, rare occurrence though it is, I will not be streaming next Saturday, and unfortunately neither will Calvert and I on Friday, because he has something on Friday and I've got something on Saturday. And it's your son's birthday party, is it, Moomix? So there won't be a stream from either of us next weekend, but hopefully we will both be, well, I will be back the following Saturday, and I hope that Calvert will be back the following Friday. We both try and keep these free, so we stream as many of them as possible. So you get a blissful, almost a fortnight off me waffling on both his stream and mine. And hopefully some point later this month, Bun and I are going to go treasure hunting. Don't know what I'm going to do with the other May stream yet. We'll see. Maybe I'll have gotten my ass into gear and done some deed planning for this by then. You never know. It's possible. Maybe. Yar! Take a laptop and stream from... Well, I'm on a date. I don't really want to stream from there, so... Get a new guest streamer on. You're like... But I'll be back afterwards. Little trip to Dublin to do some VR games with a bunch of 12-year-olds. Oh, man, you know what? I really like our VR headset. Mostly what I like is Beat Saber on it. And I'm sure that there are ways that you could stream stuff like that, but it would take a lot more work than I know how to do. But yeah. No, definitely no date stream. Well, like the chicken chop dates. Beat Saber is not Worm, no, but it is good fun. It is good fun. God, look at me. I'm just sat here, chipping away entirely out of stamina, which is very foolish of me. So let's drink something, eat something, and get those back. It's entirely possible when Ruffle was reminding me to drink something, she actually meant in-game. But I was not paying attention if that was the case. Have I still got food? I think I have. Yeah. Never too late for a breakfast muffin. Come back, stamina. Give me the goodies. I suppose Aramis can log back off. There we go. Better. Whee! What would be the most boring stream? Oh, where Bun teaches people to grind skills. I don't know, Bun's got a lot of wisdom to impart, but I think that is one of the difficulties that a lot of Worms streamers face, right? Because there are a lot of people who sort of stream intermittently, and there's a handful more who stream regularly. But Worm is quite a difficult game to stream, because most of the actual gameplay loop of Worm is, let's face it, staring at lots and lots of text in densely packed windows and right-clicking shit. So makes it tricky. Makes it tricky to stream Worm in a way that is interesting. And like right now, this is about the most static I have been on a stream thus far. I would find it really, really difficult to be entertaining for a whole stream just doing crafting stuff. And some people who have far less grasshoppery brains than me, I'm sure, can do it and do it well. Me, not so much. But we're here while I'm waffling away into sort of like the tail end of the evening, having had all of the excitement of failing to catapult anything at all. Watching Calvert do shenanigans while I also failed to continue building my bridge and just let him finish it off. And waffling away about the kinds of pop-up events that we could run here. See, you know what? I think if the chat was good, I could quite happily watch someone knit. I find knitting very soothing. Like, I really like knitting. And in fact, I've got a project just over there, which I put down last spring, meaning to pick back up within a couple of days. And I still haven't. But mostly what I like about knitting is not actually the things that I make from it, because I've got really sensitive skin. So there's limited places I can wear them. I end up knitting in alpaca because it's the softest thing I can find. But I just really like the kind of the tactile sensations and I guess the audio sensations of knitting. I've got these lovely kind of soft lacquered. See, you've got me on a grasshopper now. Sorry. I would watch a knitting stream if the conversation was good. It would be soothing. It would be like, you know, meditative. It would be meditative, maybe. Heard it here first, knitting stream with Crim in 2 weeks. Well, you know, maybe if we were to campaign on the forums for them to finally add something like knitting to Worms so that we can do something with all that goddamn wool that we're shearing off our sheep. You could have, like, real-life knitting with worm knitting all happening at the same time. Show you all of my kit. I'm no good at horror stories, Wendell. Don't think I could do it. Woolgate. Yes. How about Bun teaches Ruffle to grind skills whilst also teaching us all how to count to 10 in Norwegian? I don't know about you, but I could not multitask like that, Ruffle. It would take all of my brain cells just to concentrate on the Norwegian. Well, I am sacking it, but not because the gods love it, just because it's the only way to bloody get rid of it. Actually, what I tend to do is just fill up my trash piles with it. Make it group knitting where we all knit the same thing and then show pictures of each other's and the results and have a laugh at Bun's fail. Have you ever knitted anything, Moomix? Because short of, like, hats and infinity scarves, I think you might be underestimating just how long it takes to knit something. You thought Bun was Swedish? I do sack the wool, Bun. Why? What do you use your wool for? Are you a fast knitter, Moomix? Because I am quite speedy, but short of, like, wrist warmers and maybe, like, I can do a hat in an evening. Like, if it's a nice loose knit one, I couldn't do a tight knit one. But I've got some really nice kind of super, super soft, like, baby alpaca kind of. Oh, we found some knitters. Look at that. Cantel will make 1 million sweaters and then Sid can sell them in their store. Yeah, you know, maybe the advent of like this new knitting skill in Worm could go hand in hand with some more clothing options. You know, like say dresses. Wouldn't that be nice? It is very big, yes. You get wool-based missions? God, I don't think I've seen a wool-based mission. I don't even know. In fairness, I haven't been paying too much attention to missions recently. What have we got? Black belted vests, bassinet helms, village message boards. Oh, and a mission structure one. Yeah, I'd like a wool-based mission as well. In fact, I've just come and offloaded some crates of wool into Thorspring because Calvert was like, oh, I don't think I've got any wool anywhere. And I was like, haven't you? Brilliant. I've got so much. So much. From all of that sheep shearing, from all of that care slot alting, for all of those creatures that I am trying to care for over on release. Alright, let's crack on with that. Nearly there. We're going to find out very soon whether a brazier pillar does in fact slot neatly between these, like in this gap, or not. What did I do wrong? Added it to the wrong bit. Try again. Like, it feels like it would, right? Because we can see the base. I think it will fit nicely, but the brazier bowl might clip into it, actually. Maybe it'll sit in front in a way that doesn't bother me. We're going to find out. One way or another, we're going to find out. Ah, you liked my swamp, Jake. Yeah, I like my croc swamp too. Thank you. For anybody who doesn't know or hasn't seen, my main deed, when I'm not on Exodus, which I have been a lot for the past year, but my main deed is over on release. It's called Brambleheim. And like the top 25-30% of it is my deed, with like, as in my home space, like my village where all of my buildings and all of my stuff is and are. I'm not going to try and backtrack and work out the grammar on that one. And the rest of it, everything south of that point, is the Brambleheim Wildlife Park, where I think I'm up to somewhere between 400 and 450 different GM-named spawns, all of which are cared for. So in and amongst that, I've got a croc swamp, which the very first time Calvert and I streamed together on his stream, he came to see Brambleheim, and I nearly accidentally got him killed by getting him trapped in the croc pens. Whoops. But I've got a croc swamp, and I had great fun making that croc swamp because it's got like sunken reed beds, and it's got sunken wooden plank pathways that sink down under the water, and then it's got like these high, you can go up into the towers, and then you can like walk along rickety wooden rope bridges over the top, looking down into the croc pens, and they're absolutely full of champ crocs. I love it. Love it. It was accidental. I mean, I did jinx us by saying, you know, all we need now is to glitch. But hey, I said, wouldn't it be fun if we just raced right through the croc pens? And he said, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we did it. We just happened to glitch into a fence, and then we got stuck, and I disconnected. Had to reconnect, I think. What did I do? I think I got like, did I have to get myself unstuck out of a fence? Anyway, Calvert was like, should I just get off and run? And I said yes, forgetting that, of course, he can't get out of the gates because I got him in them on a vehicle. So then we just had sort of a few minutes of poor Calvert squealing and running back and forth through the reeds. Like, it's deliberately really very hard to see where you're going because it was meant to be a place where crocs could lurk. So he's just fumbling around, going through pen after pen, pulling ag on all of these champ crocs, being like, I can't find a way out, none of the gates will open. Until I was like, oh yeah, whoops. 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 It happened. And now there is a gravestone with Calvert's name on it in the croc pen, which has my Crimson Earth and my Estuary crocs. Alas, he did not die to the crocodiles, but I thought that it deserved one of his corpses there anyway. What do you mean I'm too far away? My arms are that long. Fibs and lies. There we go. So yeah, so that was that one. Now, I'm not planning to have a ridiculous amount of animals over on this deed, mostly because I'm already putting them all on Calvert's. But But I was thinking of some interesting ways to include animals. Wait, what would have made a great video? What, Calvert running around the croc pens going... I mean, we streamed it. Joshua Crockford. Also, I don't know if any of you didn't catch Calvert's stream last week. I took a beautiful clip of him squealing like a girl. I love it. It's my new favourite. He disembarked from his cart and didn't realise that he had disembarked over a slope, so he drops down and he's just like the most high-pitched little kind of squeak came out of him. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to find it and I'm going to post it in there for anybody who missed it, because... so good. So good. Right, let's find it. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Calvert screams like a girl. You're welcome. He does. He's got a super panic mode. I love it. There you go. That'll entertain you all for a bit while I get some more. Wait. Why aren't I continuing? What have I done? Marble bricks. Why aren't I continuing? Oh, because I didn't actually add them to the window. Clever me. Now we know. I could make a sound emote with that, but I'm not sure that I want to set a precedent of using sound clips of Calvert as channel emotes for my channel, because there are many, many, many examples of me saying or doing ridiculous things on his streams, which he would then have free reign to turn into channel point redeems for you all, and I don't think that I want to start. I don't want to open those floodgates. Also, I did real life archery today, and I caught the sun, so I now have this like lopsided... Look at this. What a mess. You can tell I haven't stepped outside in the sunshine for a year, because the minute I step out in it for like a few hours to do a little bit of archery in, like, you know, baking summer like heat on a big open field, I come home bright red, lobstery. Yeah, it'll wear down tomorrow. Like, it's not red enough that it's going to peel, but the sun was this side, so now it's like it's lopsided tan as well. English person alert. Yep. I mean, there's plenty of English people who tan beautifully, but they would have to step out into the sunshine, which I generally don't. Not because I dislike the sun, but just because I'm too busy gaming and knitting and crafting and doing everything else as well. Yeah, I'm not really good at sunbathing either. That's not my jam. I don't particularly like... I don't much like having a tan. It doesn't really do anything for me. I don't mind it. I do mind burning. This was with suntan lotion on as well. Like, look at my arm. I've got like trucker's arm, where of course I had, because I was doing archery, I had an archery guard on this one. But this poor arm, like right here, this one's got like a stripe of red down it. Can't even position it right. It's just bright red. Ah! But luckily for me, I don't tend to stay red. It will go a lovely golden brown colour in a day or two, and I'll forget all about it. I'm missing the sky. Good, look at that good sky. So good. Also, I totally forgot that I was running a poll. Again! So bad at this. So bad at this. How did we go? Lots of votes for yes for either again. Good. You're all good sports. Also, did I miss the Y off glory? Yes for fun and glore. Whoops. Wait. Hang on a minute. Okay, yes. Good. I suddenly thought I'd put the same thing twice, but I didn't. It's fine. It's all good. Gonna need some more bricks. Missed that beautiful sunrise, but never mind. Frustratingly, that means as soon as I finish building my brazier, the sun's going to be up and all the lamps are going to have gone out. No, it was meant to be glory, but evidently I missed off the last letter when I was typing too fast. Whoops. 18 left. Nearly there. Kind of, sort of. You don't tan, you just burn. Yeah, I sort of, I go red for a day, and then it very quickly becomes just kind of like a sort of, I don't know, I want to say a golden colour, but not like a nice golden colour. Just kind of, it just makes me look a little bit grubby, to be honest. Yeah, so we call it trucker's arm because, yes, arm resting on the open window, but obviously that's not how we got it. It's just because I was on, like, I was out in the sun for maybe 3 hours this afternoon, but it was particularly hot in my corner of England today. And I didn't get both arms evenly because I had an archery guard covering this one. So this one is both the direction that the sun was facing and also the only bit of any of my arms that was exposed, and it got it. Robbie, you've got permanent farmer's tan. Oh, memers, yeah, psoriasis does hate the sun. Like, itchy as anything, horrible. Oh, feel for you. Tantail is my chickens. Tantail is my chickens in farming games. So confused. It's the chickens plural that's throwing me. You just don't go outside, Mimix. I mostly don't. But that's why on the occasions when I do go and spend a few hours outside and in the sunshine, it's like my body's like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing? And it shows. Different games. Still didn't name. I see you named the first chicken Tantail. Gotcha. Gotcha. Are you like a Harvest Moon player? By any chance? Are we talking those kind of games? Stardew Valley? Harvest Moon? Rune Factory? Things of that ilk? Do you get chickens in Rune Factory? I feel like you must do. Stardew Valley. I mean, I do play Stardew Valley, but I played Harvest Moon, on which Stardew Valley was basically a sort of a love letter to Harvest Moon. So I started with Harvest Moon games first. And back then it used to be people generally played Animal Crossing or they played Harvest Moon. Some people play both. I do like Stardew Valley as well, or I liked it when it came out. I haven't gone back and replayed it. Stardew Valley multiplayer stream. Can you multiplayer Stardew Valley? Surely you can't. God knows you're a redneck at the moment. 2 days with your back to the sun. Oh. See, I'm only slightly one in as much as it got me just on this side, even though I had suntan lotion on it. I've got like a fifth of my neck is a bit red, but by tomorrow it'll have calmed right back down. Animal Crossing on the GameCube. Friends of Mineral Town on GBA. Nice. See, I had a period of time where I was in hospital, and like in my early 20s, like literally as soon as I finished university, and Harvest Moon got me through that. Like my little compact DS Lite got me through several quite frightening days of being in hospital. Although I lost my eyesight over the course of those days because of the thing that was going on, and so that I couldn't see anymore. So not only was I squinting at this tiny screen, but also like I kept having to turn the brightness up on it to be able to see anything at all because my eyesight was going. And but so that game both kind of like holds a special place in my heart because it provided me comfort and distraction at a very difficult time when I just hyper focused on it for days and days and days. But also does mean that now when I go back and play it, sometimes I get a little bit of sort of like trauma flashbacks. So you played a lot of Stardew during your accidental worm break. So did your accidental worm break, Ruffle, happen in the same way that my accidental knitting break happened, where you just put it down for a couple of days and then it ceased to exist for a little while? I have a real problem with stuff being out of sight, out of mind, because I'm no good at routines. So sometimes I put something down for a couple of days, and that's just it. It's like I just weeks go by and then I'm like, oh crap, I was doing or playing or making this thing. Totally forgot. It's just your life, Tantail. Yeah, mine too. Me too. Look at those guys. That's what you get for being neurospicy as well. Does not help. For a moment there, Bun, I thought you were telling us you were playing Worm on your tablet in the summertime. And I was like, what? We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Sure, it was referring to something else. I did not know you could multiplayer Stardew Valley. Oh no, wait. Is it the kind of multiplayer like you can also multiplayer things like Animal Crossing, where it's like the game only really belongs to one of you, but you can play an incidental second character in it? 3 bricks left. Come on. You moved house, stuff and life got in the way, and then you forgot. Aww. Ruffle. I should have come and regaled you with tales of fish slapping much sooner. I feel you, Tantail. Yeah, I get that as well. That's why I'm a list maker. If I don't write it down or do it immediately, more often than not, it will just go from my head unless I am actively rehearsing it in my head until I get to go and do the thing, which is exhausting. Totally feel you there. Map dedicated to multi... Oh my goodness. Money separated, relationship separated. So what happens if you're courting the same characters? Can you? Is that a thing? Do you have like fisticuffs off? Calvin and I were looking at like other multiplayer games that we could stream, because like we did Medieval Dynasty for a little bit and we may go back to that one, but like there's a bunch of other things out there that are actually quite fun to do with other people. Ones that I'm a fan of are ones like I've played through Raft a few times with friends. That's always quite fun. Grounded, played through with a small team of friends from time to time. I figure they like both of those might be quite fun to stream with somebody at some point. Race to marriage. Right, so we're just down to the brazier bowl, right? Moment of truth. Is this going to look good? Is this going to look pants? Let's find out. %45%. Oh, this might take a while. What do you mean I'm too far away? Fibs and lies. Okay. There we go. Let's just stack up a few. I think people are very supportive of people coming back after a break in general. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's people who, it's going to be a bit wide, isn't it? Like, I'm sure there'll be some people who have bad experiences with that, because there always are. But in my experience, like generally speaking, Worm players always welcome Worm players back unless they left with a particularly bad reputation. And Ruffle has somehow got some ill deeds in her past that I have still yet to hear about. Am I going to hate it if I actually clip the brazier into the building? And is it deep enough, do you reckon, that I can... right, let's find out. So, first of all, how far are those side bits going to clip in? Not a lot. We'd have to clip it far enough that you can't actually see the brazier poking out over the edges on the front, because otherwise that would bother me. You know what? I actually don't hate it. I reckon that works. I might try just doing at a jaunty angle though. I think I liked it the first way better. It's weird though how marble is a different shade on everything, right? Like, because the marble pillars are almost this kind of soapstone colour, And then the marble buildings are this beautiful white. Then the marble floors are grey and marbled, but a different grey to the marble mission structures. I mean, maybe they're not mission structures, actually marble bricks. I don't know. Let's have a look. What is it? A pylon? No, they're stone bricks, apparently. They're just not stone brick coloured. Anyway, so I'm not going to have any fuel on me, am I? Outrageous. Right, gonna go find some tar, light my brazier. I'll do the other one another time. I'm not going to subject you to watching me build two brazier pillars. Now, if I had tar, where would I be? Let's go back to Thule, because I know where Calvert's got some at the very least. On these very, very slow horses. Would probably have been faster to run back to my cart and take that instead, but never mind. Never mind. You've got a tunnel with 62,000 orange shards to mine out. Bloody hell, Mumix. That's when the grumpies bring their army. Wait, okay, I'm behind on chat. Let me just go catch up. The first Stardew Valley mod was a bit wonky. Oh, I see. Because it's now in the base game. Brains are massive liars. Nadine, I agree. 40 large crates. Crates are a little bit slow. Right, what was I coming here for? Tar. Let's not knock my drink over while we're at it. Gonna fuel that brazier and light it, even though it's going to put itself back out because it's daytime, but at least then that one's lit and going. If I don't remember to fuel and light lamps when I first place them, I just forget for ages. Again, grasshopper brain, so has to be done. Tar. Tar. Wow, that is pretty good carpentry gains. Wait, is that just from creation, Mumix, or are you also imping? Creation gains are normally kind of pants, especially at higher levels. Good to know. I just, a few days ago, finally after 12 years, got my Master Mason title, building that bridge, and remembering to use both sleep bonus and affinity boos on it. Yeah, it looks fine from here as well, actually, and I don't mind that it, to be honest, from this distance, like, it's not clipping into it that much. So it doesn't bother me, and I reckon it's going to look good when it's lit up at night. Fill it, insecure it, and light it. Let's back off and have a look. Trouble is, in a way, because Thule Spring is like almost in the centre, so Thule Spring's here, because Thule Spring is almost in the centre of Exodus, and because the sun doesn't actually cross over a meridian line, it rises in the northwest, northwest, and sets in the southwest. It means that the sun never actually gets this side of this mission structure. It kind of crosses over the top, but you don't ever really get it full properly lit up from this side because the sun's crossing over behind it. Yeah, I reckon that's going to look pretty good. That's going to look good. And then at night when these are all lit up, it should be a nice kind of sort of mirroring. Part of the reason that I moved this over was not only because I wanted to line these roads up, but also because I really like this bank of trees, this kind of this wooded area running along the outside of the western flank of Thule Spring. And so I wanted to, if I was making an entranceway to an event deed here, I just wanted to make something that sort of was not a reflection of, but sort of, you know, toned in nicely in terms of stuff, which is why we're carrying on the road design And I'll probably pick up some other little bits of stuff and carry them on. But you know, we've got the Orioles and we've got the Braziers and stuff. And I was going to do kind of like the perimeter walls, if you like, the edge of the deed walls in sandstone. But then when I decided to make this gatehouse and tie it into the pylon, that sort of dictated the wall type. But I have to say, marble buildings, even though they're different colours, they are slightly different shades. The marble buildings tone in really nicely with the kind of white-grey stone colour of these mission structures. And Exodus is absolutely covered in mission structures, but especially this bit of Exodus. There's actually a couple more on this deed. So I might have a play around with some of the others and see if there are more cool things that I can do. I've seen people do some pretty cool stuff with spirit gates, like this one. So I will find some way to use that and not move it too far from where it currently is. Because even though right now it's not a valid mission point, these things were here way before me. And I don't want to go messing up everybody's sort of understanding of whereabouts on the map they are. So they might move a little bit, and we've got an obelisk there. But I'm going to try not to move them too far and just incorporate them into something in a cool way. But yeah, so we got this big old space. Where did I leave my other cart? Asking for a friend. I feel like surely I brought the Yodel wagon out here somewhere. Surely. I was so sure I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I ran here on foot. Anyway, let's drop these off. Wish you could find your... Oh, I see. We're back to knitting. You can build them without missions, yes, Mimix. I think you didn't used to be able to, because what you used to see on merchants from time to time, and sometimes you will still find them on merchants that haven't had their stock updated in a while, was started mission structures. So it used to be that the only way you could do it outside of missions was to wait for a mission to come around asking for one, and then you could go and start them and keep the unfinished ones to complete them in other places and at other times. But it's no longer like that. You can just build one anywhere at any point, and it will just, when you complete it, tell you that unfortunately it doesn't meet the requirements for a mission or whatever. But yeah, you can just build them. And now that they've made it so that you can move them if they are on your deed, it makes it much, much easier for people to incorporate them into buildings, or just shift them a little bit around their deed plans as deeds rise and fall. So yeah, you can just build yourself a pylon because it fits nicely with something else you want to do. And these spirit gates make, like, I've seen people use some really nice kind of ways of incorporating these into like cool entrance ways and things. Like I've seen them tucked into cave entrances as sort of like tunnel ways and canals. I've seen them built into the entrances to temples and stuff like that. Incidentally, also, the mission structures, some of them have quite cool, in fact I think this one in particular, have quite cool unfinished forms. So when you start them, they're actually quite nice in their unfinished form as decoration, if you're somebody who likes sort of slightly unusual bits of decoration to use. In fact, what does it take to start a spirit gate? Spirit gate, what do we need? Stone, brick and clay. See, now I haven't got clay over here, but since I also don't have my cart over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and run and find my horse, and I'm going to grab some clay, and I might just, having mentioned it and now piqued my own curiosity, start one of each of the mission structures. I know that the obelisk in its unfinished form is just kind of like this lower bit. It's just sort of like a bit of a pillar, in the same way that the brazier pillars just give you like a bit of an unfinished pillar. But I don't know off the top of my head what an unfinished pylon looks like, and I'm kind of curious. I think the spirit gates are the ones that get you this cool kind of like gigantic gold skull and bits of marble or whatever. Can you bash colossuses? I don't know, but off deed they don't last that long, because even where people with really good masonry have built really nice high quality ones, I've seen them disappear off deed way faster than I would like for something that takes quite that much time and material. Oh, mission structures. I wouldn't have thought so. I imagine on deed you can, because you can bash pretty much anything on deed that doesn't have an ownership system, like say somebody else's vehicle. I wouldn't have thought you could bash mission structures off deed, but if you could, I think it would be considered griefing, which is why I think you probably can't, because they are valid mission structures for other things in the game, like for treasure maps and for missions. You could catapult those two, could you, Jake? What was I doing? Grass hopped away already. I was going to go and get my horse, wasn't I? Let's go do that. And then grab some clay. So what do I need to start? Stone bricks and clay to start a spirit gate. What do we need to start a pylon? Oh, that needs a stone slab and clay, but that's all right because I've got shards there. That's doable. I've definitely, like, I use shrines for decorative stuff off deed quite a lot. I can't remember what an unfinished shrine looks like. That's a stone slab and clay as well. Right. I suppose I could just take the cart, but horse would be quicker. So let's unhitch you. Right. Back on my lovely champion bramble horse abroad. Grab some clay, go and try some for science. And then I might have run out of juice and have to wrap up. Like, I've got more polls that I could do, but I've got some good feedback. Like, I've got some things to sort of start thinking about what I might want to do first in terms of buildings. I just need a starting point, I think, for that deed. I was kind of hoping that lovely pylon gate would be it, but it's not quite enough of a starting point for me to plan a deed out from. I need another one. So, but at the very least, I figured while I had a deed down there, I wanted to get the pylon moved, the road moved, and the bridge moved, so that even if I decided not to have that as the deed site, I had changed the bits about it that were niggling me and lined them all up nicely. One of these. There we go, clay. There was also some in the manor that I could have grabbed, and it just didn't occur to me. Don't actually need that much, but never mind, let's have that. I was wondering earlier if we did something like relay races or checkpoint races, whether I could manage to do some kind of stream setup where once we start the races, I can actually have 4 toons and 4 screens all visible so you can watch people shoot past the checkpoints, almost like having cameras set up in different places. I don't know if I could get OBS doing that. I'm sure there's a way, but it might take some trickery. It also might actually be pants by the time you're viewing it on a little screen. You might not be able to see anything at all doing it that way. But, like, I was like, it would be cool if for a relay race you could actually see, like, different angles and different bits of the course as people are shooting around them. What do we want? We want shards. Where do we put the shards? They're in the wagon, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, OBS can do that. It's just how you do it. I don't know if it will let me... I don't know if I could do it by having the 4 game capture things all capturing a different specific window and not confusing one another and all trying to capture the same. But if I couldn't do it that way, you would do it by something like, for example, doing a window desktop capture or something and just tessellating them up on the screen, doing it that way. You could blunt force it, certainly. I don't know if you could do it the more elegant way that you're supposed to do it by doing them all as independent game capture windows or not. I can hear you, Ruffle. What are you building? I can hear you tinking away. Are you building stuff? Are you making bricks? I hear something going on. I'm going to go and have a peek at Ruffle's deed in a minute. If she doesn't mind. Ruffle, do you mind us coming and having a quick look at Petrichor on stream? Walls. Is that walls of nope? Right, so we're going to need some stone bricks. And I'm just going to make some unfinished mission structures so we can just see what they look like. I'm also going to need some stone slabs, aren't I? 2 of them needed slabs. Yeah, it would help if I combined them, wouldn't it? Clever girl. Let's try again. So we needed stone slabs for 2 of them. And a brick for the 3rd one. You'd have them in windowed mode. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, because all my alts I tend to be in windowed mode anyway. But that's what I meant about like tessellating them, like doing a 2x2 and then just capturing that whole thing. If you can't do it through the game capture mode, because it wouldn't really interfere with audio. Like, you could just capture desktop audio if you wanted it, but you probably wouldn't want four worm audios running side by side anyway on that. Right, there's our 2 slabs, and let's do a brick. And then let's have a look-see and see what they're like. Also, I'm just going to move a little bit further in, because now that this is done, once I've finished terraforming this down and making my nice undulating slopes, I'm going to then pull the deed right back again, because at the moment the deed goes all the way to over here, but actually the deed is only going to go to... I might take it up to the edge of the canal, but it may only come up to sort of like the edge of this grass, this space here. So I'm going to resize the deed back that way. And by the way, for anybody who has never tried doing that or isn't quite sure what I'm talking about, if you've got a deed that is big enough that you've got a little bit of wriggle room and you haven't got buildings on every edge of it, it is really, really useful to know that you can resize your deed for free by essentially just shuffling stuff from the east to the west side, or from the north to the south, or vice versa, in order to allow you to temporarily move something, say in your perimeter or nearby, onto your deed to deal with it. Like, I've used it for bashing my own off-deed fences, perimeter fences and things like that in the past. I also quite often use it to be able to export the shape of terrain out into Deed Planner so that I can look at it. So you do that through the resize window, and basically the way to make sure that you don't lose any money by doing it is just to make sure that whatever you take off one direction you put on the other, because your deed has to be a minimum of like five tiles from the settlement token. The thing to be really careful with, you want to make sure that you've got manage permissions on all those buildings, because if you move your deed off a building you can't manage, you can't then move it back on. And the other thing to be careful about is if you're somebody who keeps aggressive animals and you keep those anywhere near the deed borders, you want to be super, super careful about that, because it can then make it difficult to move your deed back over. But with those couple of caveats, it can be a really, really useful way of doing work which is way faster for mayors to do on deed than it is for anybody to do off deed in the spaces around your deed. And it can also be really useful for getting Deed Planner plans of terrain that you want to do shaping of, so that you don't have to go manually like mapping or calculating it or just winging it in game. Right, that's it. I do it all the time for stuff now. It's so, so helpful. So we said, here we go, epic structures. Oh yeah, I forgot about the foundation pillars, but I think those just look, I think their unfinished structure just looks the same as an unfinished normal pillar. So the spirit gate. Yeah. Handy for all sorts of things in your perimeter. There's a lot of things which like in terms of terraforming that don't make that much difference. There you go. How cool is that? Right? As an unfinished item model that you can use with stuff. Not to mention that this skull, way, way bigger, surely, than... Oh, I mean, well, maybe it's not, you know. Maybe it's just that it's far away. But yeah, really cool unfinished item model. These were used to great effect, I think, in the mines down in the puzzle labyrinth. They've used these for like deco and stuff in there, and I think it's really cool. And it's an item model which, if you've never seen one of these unfinished, like in the puzzle labyrinth, you might not know existed, but cool bit of thing to have just lying around. And on deed, this is one of those items which doesn't really decay, or if it does, it decays super slow, like a lot of unfinished items. They will just sit there indefinitely, not really taking damage. So they're quite good as like scat attack kind of deco. And there aren't many kinds of deco like that that let you decorate on that kind of scale. So I like that, particularly if you're going for, which is one of the things I considered doing here, going for a kind of deliberately ruined look. Unfinished items can be great for that as well. So that's the Spirit Gate. Let's also do the pylon and see what that looks like. I could have done one for the temple as well, because the temple one I think gives you like the 4 base pillars. Like we were looking at when Calvert and I were building his temple. We looked at the unfinished version of it and we were like, we could probably do something with that. It almost looks like little marble seating or something. What did we say? Pylon, shrine, temple. I could make another one and show you, in fact. So let's see what the temple one looks like. And I'll make another slab and we'll do all 3. If I can manage to make one at all, she says. Let's try again. Right, here we go. So let's move this over. So there you go. It doesn't actually get you all 4, but it gets you 3. But you could do 2 of these and you could nest them. Right, if you made a handful of these unfinished ones, right, you could keep rotating them around this center point and essentially make yourself sort of like a little ring of seats or something like that. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. For an unfinished model, I think there's probably interesting ways that you could use that. Mumix, yes, it does. Sleep bonus affects everything except for faith gain and fight skill. I want to say faith gain and fight skill. Have I missed one? But yes, it certainly affects characteristics gains. I've just confidently said it, and now Bun isn't confident, and now I'm wondering. But it ignores tool casts. That's interesting. That I didn't know. So yeah, so that's your unfinished temple model. Interesting ways that you could use that, I'm sure. Let's I like how when I turn away I just get the shadow though. That's cool. Unfinished pylon, what does that look like? What? Rude. Let's try again. 42%. That's why. Do it. Hey. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is weird. So the pylon, it looks like you get the whole footprint. See, this one is not quite so, like, I'm not looking at this and being like, ooh, I'm inspired. But still, I bet there's some interesting things that you could do with that, because look at this, what? Oh. I kind of want to make a little, like, rat run type maze. So that's what the unfinished pylon looks like, and then we were going to make one more slab and just have a look at what the unfinished shrine looks like. I don't think that one's terribly exciting. I think the Spirit Gate is the coolest one. As I said, I thought it would be. But I do think that the temple one is... Oh, I can't get some more stone shards first. I do think the temple one is nice as well. And I meant when we discovered this before, and I'm pleased to have reminded myself that I want to go play with unfinished temples as a kind of outdoor decoration thing. Because I think we could do some cool stuff with those. Right, stone shards. So let's just do a shrine as well and sort of complete the set. I could do a foundation pillar as well, but like I say, I think it just looks like an unfinished normal pillar. So I don't actually think there's anything particularly to discover there. Do they really? So foundation pillars, when you start building them, are they just, bam, immediately full pillars? You don't get the broken pillar model like with other pillars. I really like the broken pillar model as well, incidentally, for anybody who's never really built pillars. That, like, if you've ever seen one that looks like it's sort of like broken off halfway, that's just its unfinished form, which is cool. Did we create a stone slab? Yes, we did. Where is the... There it is. Shrine. Oh, unfinished shrines have the full shrine model. Well, damn. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have had to build a whole one to nest all of my pretty things around. So there you go. If you quite like the shrine model and you're building it on Deed, where it's not going to be a valid mission structure anyway, you could cheat. 1 slab, 1 clay. It's not even blinking out of existence as I back off. Shrines forever. God. How have I not clocked that before now? I could use those everywhere. Everywhere. Other than the foundation pillar, I think that's it for epic structures. Have I missed any? Oh, we didn't do the obelisk either, but that's because the obelisk is, like I said, I'm pretty sure the obelisk is just like cut off at that point. You just get this base bit basically, which is not terribly exciting. I think the temple one is much nicer, probably because the temple one is sort of kind of like table and chair height. It'll be a little further away. Shame you can't play stuff on it, but what I'm going to do at some point when I go playing with this, the reason that I like unfinished models is, apart from the fact that it's cool and it's extra visual interest, but the next thing I would do is I would try seeing what I can nest in this, which is almost the same height, so that I can use this as a placeable surface effectively. I think a tripod table, for example, might be a little... Hang on, it's a little bit easier to see in third person. I think a tripod table might be a little bit high, but maybe not. But the way to make, sort of like, to level up your use of unfinished stuff is basically to see what you can hide in it that is a placeable surface, so you can effectively treat it like one, which is what I will be attempting to do with these at some point, to figure out what I can do with them. So, Ruffle said she was building. Did you say whether we could come and have a peek, Ruffle? It is very unfinished. Would you rather we didn't? Tripod might be close. Yeah, I think tripod would be the closest, and the problem with this is this bit here is quite narrow, so it would need to be something small. Like, you wouldn't fit a bedside table under it, but I'd be interested to try a tripod table. I think a tripod table will be slightly too high, unfortunately. And you could fit a wooden shrine in there maybe, but I think that might be a little bit too wide, and it would be too low, because a wooden shrine would come up to about here, and I think it would butt out the sides. So I think it might be a tripod table or nothing for that. But then if you had it nested in other things, there might be other ways to do it. Anyway, I mean, you can also, if you find a tripod table, is it octagonal? Because actually, if a tripod table is slightly too high, that might still look quite cool. It would just, like, if you position it right, you could use it like essentially like a wooden insert inlay in the top. That might be quite cool. Promise not to come and do a proper tour. Just going to go find Ruffle, give her a kiss. Show you guys where her Christmas deed's going to be. Because I said I was talking about connecting up these 3 deeds effectively. Because since Ruffle moved over here, we formed an alliance. We formed an alliance with her and, like, suckered her into it. Because Ruffle and I are allies over on release. And I'm trying to fix the other end of this bridge, which leads over to Ruffle's place, because the tail end of it was not easy to ride off, so I'm going to make a thoroughfare so you can just ride straight off the other end and turn over onto this upper bit. But so this is Ruffle's one over here, which is a work in progress. Here she is. Hello, hello. So this is where Ruffle is planning to build her Christmas deed. Christmas-themed deed, which is why we filled it full of snowman heads, among other things. But because Ruffle loves sheep, it is also, of course, home to some sheep too, and other things. But yeah, so this is Petrichor over here, where where there'll be nice themed stuff. And then if I manage to come up with something, a very, very short hop over here, you would have this pop-up event deed for kind of ad hoc events and things that we decide to run in this space just here over this side of the canal. Going to finish adding in dirt here so you can just kind of go in a straight line. That's the bloody scorpion stone, which keeps spitting out scorpions at me. You still have 2 fake reindeer. Oh, Bun, you must care for them. Which reminds me, Ruffle and I found some named sheep that we didn't know existed on somebody's deed on Pristine the other day, and we couldn't find out who owned the deed, but they're all dying of old age, and we desperately want to rescue a couple. I want to stick one in the wildlife park. So then this deed will end about 2 tiles here, which butts its perimeter up against Thulspring's perimeter, which starts here. And then, of course, you've got, then you've got Thulspring here and Calvert's Arena, Bloodsands Arena, just down here. So it would be a really nice kind of connected set of deeds with, like, public event style spaces and things. Calvert's got a really nice big hotel, literally just there. So I wouldn't be building, like, a hotel here. There'd be no point. He's already got a really good one. And kind of between our 3 deeds, we reckon we could host some cool stuff. So that was kind of the sort of the thinking there. But yeah. Is Ruffle going to come and rescue your fake reindeer? She never has enough sheep. Never enough. So I think I have waffled more than enough. How long have I been waffling now? Over 3 hours? Coming up for 4, maybe, with a couple of breaks in between, which I have yet to find out whether has actually broken the stream up or not. But we did a good bit of waffling. Talked a little bit about game stuff. If you come up with any cool ideas for things that you think it would be quite fun to have as, like, in-game, on-stream events, or cool kinds of buildings and things in this, like, feel free to ping me them, or better yet, pop them in, like, the Coterie Discord or something in one of the chat channels. I'm very, very open to ideas about what kind of things we could do in this space. I've got a very, very big long list of some of the kinds of things that I want to include here and how I might make multi-use buildings that can accommodate some of those kinds of games. You know, like a games hall, like some kind of a sparring ring or arena space. Probably some kind of a feasting hall, not just because I want to figure out a way to do food fights, but also because I think it's actually quite nice to be able to have actually have sort of social-ish events in spaces like that. May yet try and take a punt at my my treehouse micropub idea somewhere along the way. I don't know. And on the deed, when I was planning the deed down there and I was looking at having those kind of like city walls, town walls type things, I also wanted a load of little booths tucked under the arches on the inside, and I'd still quite like to do that somewhere. But at the moment, it's a blank slate, so if ever there were a time to try and influence me towards something that you would like to see on stream or in Worm, now's probably it. But yes, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. Jake, thank you for coming and helping me do demolition on the bridge. Really appreciate that. Thank you to the rest of you where you've been chipping in with, like, advice and information and ideas and stuff as well. Thank you for humouring me, taking part in my polls. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be taking an unprecedented Saturday night off, so I'm not going to be streaming next Saturday, and Calvert and I are not going to be streaming next Friday. We will both hopefully be back in 2 weeks. I did, Mumix, thank you, yes. Thank you. Mumix sent me a bunch of rare food. I have dutifully sent it back to Brambleheim, to the Rare LMC, where I am collecting it all up, ready to do another rare foods display somewhere over on Exodus. And also, I saw Bun had sent me some perfect pet bowls earlier, which I haven't actually taken out of the mailbox yet. Thank you, Bun. I love pet bowls. What can I tell you? They're like the best storage for like 75% of the things in Worm. Not least because you can just chop them off a log at like super high quality. But yes, so and on my cooldown, we did Sanford and Sons more recently than we did this one. So we got Exodus Market this time. but you should visit both while you're there. They're really, really easy to reach. You just hop through the portal, head west out of Esert, and you will find Exodus Market. Like, you can't miss it. That big shop sign, you can see it from Esert. So Exodus Market is on the front side, if you like, of that shop sign. And once you've gone and had a look around there at Rock Lobster stuff, if you head on just past the shop sign and look for the big slate corkscrew kind of tower with like corkscrew stairs running around it, that is Jake Rivers' place, and that is also a market over at Sanford and Sons. So the next time you're over on Exodus, go pay those a visit if you like that kind of thing. I know, Bun. 100 QL. That's what I mean. Such high quality storage. So good. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya. If you're over my side of the world, get to bed, get to sleep. It is getting late. Happy worming, and I will see you all back on stream, hopefully, in a couple of weeks, if I don't see you in game before. Good night, guys. Take care.